go for crossover. Oh, killer crossover.
Just crossover.
It just crossed him over nastily.
Another victim to the crossovers. Cross him up and sit him down.
The crossover is powered by Everlevel Concrete Repair in Omaha at everlevelconcrete.com. Hi, guys.
That is right. Hello. Hello. Good morning.
Hello.
I'm like tender in the rib. Like it hurts to stand a little bit.
Oh,
It's
man.
not good.
You going too hard?
I don't know. I worked out yesterday.
Day one of the
It was
season,
hurting.
you already got an oblique injury?
I don't know, man.
Swinging
It's
it too
not
hard,
good.
Jorge
Dude,
Soler?
dude, that was frustrating to watch this morning
Well,
at 5 a.m.
Luckily, there's 161 more.
Yeah, but that one actually kind of doesn't matter because it's against the Dodgers, and we're kind of fighting up against. We are not going to be a team that's like, we're going to win 100 games this year. Like, no, we kind of every game kind of matters this year for the Cubs.
Win
and
your
you would-
divisional games. You'll be fine.
You would like them to at least split coming up, and they look terrible today. Couldn't hit. I mean, no surprise. Seiya doesn't look good because it's not the month of June or July. So Dansby, we had 2 errors, 3 hits. That's frustrating.
Wow.
Nothing more frustrating than watching bad defense.
So that game started at what time?
5:10.
5:10. So you got to watch basically all of it.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I woke up at 4:45, tuned it on right away, and then I missed the drive in. Obviously, like when you're walking to the car and you turn it off. But as soon as I walked in, we had it on. So it was a little bit unprofessional at times when I was just staring at the TV watching my beloved team play
Shout
baseball.
out to Josh during Braves games.
That's right.
But we'll be fine. We'll be okay. I
The
know
worst
I'm not
one-
overreacting.
The worst one was me hosting Big Red Overreaction while the Royals were in a playoff game against the Yankees.
I mean, like,
And it
why
was-
would they assign that to you? You
well,
know?
I didn't know that the Royals were going to be in the playoffs.
That's a good point. Yeah.
And we thought it would be funny content, so we didn't change it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I was willing to fall on the sword for everybody for content.
Martyr baton.
Content.
Imanaga looked okay, but he was definitely on still the spring training schedule because he threw 65 pitches and only gave up 1 run, and it was like,
All right,
okay,
that's enough out of you.
yeah, for sure. And then they went to the pen and
Well, it is March 18th.
that's the BS of this all. That the fact that these games actually count and it's 2 games against the best team in the NL, and once again you would like to win them, and it's only 1 game, but Pat Hughes always says, when do you start scoreboard watching? I scoreboard watch starting on opening day.
I saw the I saw the video of Pat and Ron this morning from a dark Wrigley Field.
I did not see that this morning.
Yeah. Why
didn't they send him out to Japan?
Well, maybe they did. Maybe they tried to. But I mean, Pat's very old.
There should not be Pat's fine. Pat will be okay.
Okay, Pat's all right.
Pat's
I
all
don't know
right.
why they didn't go, but all I saw was Pat saying, "Chicago Cubs baseball is on the air from dark Wrigley Field."
Yeah, Ron and Pat. Hey, I don't know why the Ricketts couldn't send them out.
Maybe
to
they
Japan.
could, and maybe they declined. It's a long trip.
Knowing these people, and whether. By the way, you should just have. Well, I guess you can't have the first game of the year not announced by Pat Hughes. So
I don't know, man. Would you right now obviously would say yes to a trip to Tokyo? But think about yourself after a long career and you're 70 years old. Would you go to Tokyo?
if you've never been before, why not?
Maybe Ron's been to Tokyo.
Wouldn't that be kind of a
Maybe
little?
Pat's
I'm not
been to
saying
Tokyo.
Ron and Pat are having swan songs, but wouldn't that be a cool moment to be like, yeah, at the end of my career or close to the end of my career, I went out to Japan in the Tokyo Dome.
He's only 69.
I know. I'm telling you, he's fine. He should.
Oh no,
be,
he's fine. He's fine.
I don't know why they didn't send him out there. Regardless of that, yeah, bad game from them today. Got to be better on defense. Let's see what happens tomorrow. Hopefully they can clean that up.
Why didn't Pat Hughes go to Japan? Let's see.
I don't know if Google is going to have that for you.
Oh, you'd be surprised.
Maybe we should call our senator.
I don't think the Ricketts got rich by sending people to Japan.
Alice Cohen will call the Cubs 4 games on site in Tokyo for Marquee Sports Network alongside Jim DeShays because of a scheduling conflict with lead voice Boog Shambi. This is on Marquee.
Where is Boog?
This is on TV.
Boog is announcing the NCAA tournament or some stupid basketball game.
Oh.
He's probably doing like the NIT or something on ESPN.
Boog Shambi is a great man. He is a good guy. He is a phenomenal announcer. Okay. I wish my baseball team's announcer wasn't like national. Like I wish it would like he was just with the team all the time. And like Boog is awesome at national games. He is great for for a neutral announcer, for an audience coming in. He plays both sides of the aisle really well. He knows his stuff. His voice is incredible. He's a sweet, sweet guy. But like as a local voice, for me at least, I'm like, man, we're in the 7th inning. We're playing the Cardinals. It's damn near September. Like we need to win this game. Can we not be talking about music right now?
It's baseball. It's baseball.
But there are certain moments where I'm like, Boog, like, come on, lock in.
Okay.
All
right.
Like Len Casper was the same way. Len Casper would talk about Bill James and Pearl Jam way too often.
This is a very Chicago complaint of you.
Yeah, I wonder where I grew up, Connor Happer.
I'm just saying.
There's always like 3 Big Ten basketball games each year where I'm like, wait, I know this voice.
That's
Brandon Gaudan of the Atlanta Braves.
I'm very
or
passionate
Benetti,
about this.
or Benetti.
I just
Benetti
want
doing
my
college
guy.
football games.
Yeah,
instead of the Tigres.
I swell up
but
with
Benetti
pride. I'm like, that's my guy.
Benetti was a Sox fan though. Like Benetti wanted the Sox to win. Like Benetti was in it.
Yeah, but they were a bad organization. So
you said they were. They currently are.
Correct.
I mean, terrible.
Yes.
No, I know. I'm sorry for getting. I'm just want my guy to be my guy.
Wow.
I don't want him out in the national spotlight.
Oh wow.
Announcing Michigan State versus Maryland at
I
9 o'clock on a Tuesday.
I thought you'd be proud.
No, I want the Cubs announcer to be the Cubs announcer. I want him all for myself. I want to be selfish.
Okay.
It's just a sport thing.
All right.
Like same thing with radio's a little bit different, but I like that Len Casper Len did the Cubs and Len only did the Cubs and Len was about the Cubs.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed that.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. There's my 2 cents.
I personally don't care.
I know you don't care.
That's
okay. It's just a very Chicago complaint for me.
It kind of is.
What makes it Chicago? This isn't me pressing you. This is actually like an actual question.
You're getting mildly to moderately fired up about something that I don't know that anyone cares about.
Yeah. No, that checks.
That's what makes it Chicago.
There's a little bit of Chicago isn't good enough for you.
A little.
Chicago,
big
city,
a little,
not big enough for you.
Yeah, like you're the Cubs announcer. You announce the Cubs.
You want more?
Mm-hmm.
What more is
what
there?
more? Exactly. Thank you.
What do you think about Harry Carey? Harry Carey was national.
Yeah, but Harry
Carey was a
time
superstar.
and I wasn't alive.
Okay. All right. I thought about when I was in Chicago.
I understand that it might be an unfair argument. Okay, I understand that I might be irrational in this.
It's okay.
The way you feel.
But I feel the way I feel, and no one can change that. You know what? I'd rather be. What did the guy in Wreck-It Ralph say? There's no one I'd rather be than me.
Wow.
There it is.
What a line.
Zangief.
Should I have gotten a bag of Garrett's popcorn when I was in the airport in Chicago on Sunday?
Garrett's is better than Nuts on Clark, so yes.
So they changed. It used to be Nuts on Clark in Midway, and now it's Garrett's.
Now it's Garrett's,
and they have the prepackaged bags as well, so you don't even have to go up to the popcorn popper. But obviously, you would prefer
the popcorn
popper. But I did not. I had no room in my carry-on because I had to transport some chips from New York. And
transport the chips.
I had to have the chips, so I didn't have room for the popcorn, sadly. But I would love to be eating some cheesy popcorn watching the NCAA tournament games on Thursday. But it was not in the stars. It wasn't in the stars for me.
What did that beautiful caller tell you?
That was a fellow Cubs fan, not of Chicago.
Agreeing with Matt?
Agreeing with Matt.
Yes.
I figured.
I want my guy to be my guy. I'll tell you this. So next time you go to Chicago, Randolph is when you're in the Loop, when you're downtown in the Loop. Randolph is a beautiful street. It's where all of the theaters are. The Cadillac, the Nederlander. It's right in the heart of the Loop. And on the corner of Randolph and State, which the State and Randolph and State and Lake is where the famous Chicago Theater is at.
Mm-hmm.
There's a Garrett's popcorn right there.
That's the one.
That's the one. You
Okay.
want to go to that.
That's the good one.
Garrett's. It's right in the heart of the Loop. The people who've been working there have been there for they've owned it for a while. At least that's what I've been told. That's the Garrett's.
Okay.
It's such a good Garrett's. So I worked right there, not too far away from the area. And on Fridays, my dad would have me go to that Garrett's and get him cheesy popcorn and bring it back.
It's the cheese, and it was a shame because at the airport you could get the regular popcorn, and then you could get the cheesy caramel mix.
No.
There-
You should be able to separate the two.
I agree. I
That's
don't
a
want the cheesy caramel mix.
no.
I want the cheese.
I've never been a mix guy. I've never understood the contrast between the two.
I just don't prefer the caramel corn. Like if I'm going to eat
Okay.
I just don't really like the caramel
I
corn
think my
that much.
problem with the mix is
It's
that
too hard.
pick a slant, right? For me, if I'm having caramel corn, I don't want the little bits of saltiness from the cheesy popcorn on top of it. I don't want that residual taste. I just want sweet, savory caramel popcorn.
It did not appear, just taking a brief glance at the menu in Midway on Sunday, that it did not appear that was an option. You either get regular or cheesy caramel mix.
See, here's another thing though.
Because there was 2 big vats and then one of them was a cheesy caramel mix.
I prefer O'Hare to Midway. Okay. Might be on the
Chicago.
might be on the hot seat there. But that Harry Carey bar that they have in Midway,
Gone.
no.
Yeah, it's something else now, I think.
The
big bar, right in the middle there.
It was just there in October.
Yeah, I think it's they did some stuff in there. They redid that food court area, and it's different in there now. It's different. Yeah, at Midway they have a big advertisement for the Creighton University Hyder School of Business, I believe. And I walked.
Oh wow!
When I was walking around there talking to one of the airport employees when I was flying out on Thursday, they were like, Creighton, and I was like, yeah. And they were like, we got a Creighton advert. I was like, yeah, I saw that. Cool. Have a great day.
You weren't walking in Hong Kong and someone goes, Nebraska.
No,
That
did not happen.
Didn't Trev Albert say something like that or something? I don't know. Talking about national brand.
Colin says, Colin White Plains, our dear friend.
Hi, Colin.
Sounds like Matt wants an exciting announcer like the great John Sterling. Here comes the judge.
I like John Sterling.
Stantorian blast. That guy is definitely
Yankees win.
He's going to come out of retirement at some point this year and kick Dave Sims to the curb.
Probably.
Poor Dave.
See, I wonder if we had like a Dodgers fan call in, like, how do you feel about Joe Davis? You know,
how could you not like Joe Davis?
No. Obviously, you like Joe. Joe Davis is awesome.
I prefer Charlie Steiner.
It would be. Wouldn't that be? I mean, I don't know. It would be a little weird for me.
But
if
Vin,
my announcer was announcing the World Series.
But so did Vin. I mean,
no. I'm not, guys. I'm just asking for people. I'm not saying it's wrong, and I'm not saying it's right.
You want your broadcasters to be not that good.
I want them to be mine. I would like them to be mine.
I think Ryan Lefevre would do excellent at the World Series.
But here's my one.
But he's not on.
The reason why I said I wonder how Dodgers fans feel about Joe Davis is because Joe Davis is so damn good that maybe I could get over it. Like maybe I could see past that.
Yeah, and the Dodgers are on the World Series anyway.
Exactly.
So,
so it's one of those things where it's like, if Boog was by far undoubtedly the best damn voice in all of baseball, maybe I would feel different. He's just like the 4th best.
By the way, are we done with that topic?
Go ahead.
All right. I've received an email.
Go ahead.
I was actually wondering about this very morning. When am I going to receive this email? And last year I kind of made a mistake on this. I've received an email regarding the 2025 Taste of the Masters.
Oh,
Taste of the Masters.
Yeah.
Yes.
You get the big jug of pimento cheese, egg salad, pork barbecue. I still use every day a Masters cup from last year when I got the Taste of the Yeah. So you never heard of this?
No.
So they send you
That's right.
They send you a big bundle, and it's the pimento cheese spread, it's the barbecue spread, it's the egg salad spread, a few bags of potato chips, some cookies and brownies and stuff like that, and it's all Masters branded stuff. So you could have a Masters party.
Oh my God.
Are you interested?
Yes.
All right. The large hosting kit, which I assume you'll be going in for, Matt.
Can you send this email to me?
Sure. I could just forward you the link.
Forward me the link off the air.
Serves 12 to 14.
Okay, don't need that much.
Oh, you don't? You want to go small?
Go smaller for me.
All right. Let's go with the that's new. The limited edition Azalea.
That's what
kit.
I'm looking at right now. Connor.
Okay, read
This
that
looks
one. Read the
delicious.
limited edition.
That includes the Azalea, the drink that they serve.
Has
The
long been enjoyed as the signature cocktail of the Masters.
Yes.
Non-alcoholic Azalea cocktail.
It's basically just a bottle of this
Okay.
And then they give you 6 cups, it appears, and a shot glass.
Hell yeah.
And you can get that by April 3rd for $64.95.
Okay. And then what is like the 6 to 8 person? Read all of them. Just read all of them.
So
Just read all of them.
The classics kit, I believe, is what we're going to be looking for in this.
Okay.
Serves 4 to 6.
Perfect.
That'll include the pimento cheese spread, a bunch of cups, bags of potato chips, a few moon pies.
Hell yeah.
$99.95.
Take it. Done.
Look at this.
I'm in. I'm buying that.
Now, last year I went with the large hosting kit.
So here's the thing. I'm not going to have
That's a
12
lot.
to 14 people.
I only ate half of the pimento cheese spread.
Okay. But what is the memorabilia that comes with
It's
it?
the cups.
It's just you just get more cups.
It's the cups.
So how many cups in the 12 to 14?
I swear to God, there's probably 20 of them.
Really?
Yeah, there's probably.
I
20.
don't need that many.
There's probably 20 cups.
I don't need.
But you need cups for your.
I do need. No, we actually don't have enough like big drinking cups. Like we have smaller
These
cups.
are perfect. These
Are they
perfect.
actually?
So it comes with Georgia pecan caramel popcorn.
Ooh,
There you
Oddly
go.
enough.
Ooh.
A sleeve of 25 branded souvenir cups, a
Holy
pack of
Lord.
12 coasters, Masters branded wax paper,
That's right. Yeah. Yes. Yes.
printed menu food cards.
Shoot.
$184.95.
Ah.
$184.95. They'll ship it right to your house. You can get it by April
Well,
3rd.
I am getting some tax returns, so I am getting money back. So that might be where my X amount of money goes toward.
Now we have a family friend who just became the official architect of Augusta National.
Really?
Yes.
Congratulations to that family
So I don't
friend.
know if I should text him. Be like, hey, I know you just started there on Monday, which would be yesterday.
Can we get an in though?
Can we get
Is there like a okay?
some swag?
So
People are telling me, by the way, that the Harry Carey's is still open, but maybe I'm just looking in the wrong
the
place.
Harry Carey's bar, like the
Yes.
long, it was
Yeah.
open in October. I
Yeah.
hope it's not closed.
And
I love
maybe
that
it
place.
is.
They might have a code, because we back in Espen, we had a lot of codes for a lot of things,
Oh,
and
Code
like-
boy.
tell me.
like
Tell
no,
us.
no,
Oh,
I can't.
okay.
I can't. They were like personal. They gave us like personal codes for certain things that we had sponsorships on,
Okay.
So we were able to
Oh,
consistently
yeah.
get like, hey,
I thought
this
you meant
company
like in the building I'm known as Nighthawk.
No. No, there were companies that would sponsor us,
Uh-huh.
and we would release the codes, and there was a code for the regular folk who'd be listening to the radio,
Sure.
but then there was a personal code
Oh.
for employees that was like double the discount of what they would be giving
Love
out.
an employee discount.
Exactly. So I'm wondering if maybe your guy can sneak us Augusta National code.
Hey, you got any codes? Just
You
text
got any
them.
codes?
You got any codes?
I got no codes, no coordinates, nothing for you, Cap.
By the way,
Liar.
John emails into the Equitable Bank inbox.
Hi,
Does
John.
Matt understand he can't use his NFM card to pay for the Masters? Good question.
I still have plenty of money to pay off of my NFM.
Uh-huh.
For sure.
Interest rate 24 months, probably.
No, so we were
Oh.
18 months for the couch, and now I'm on 6 months for the lazy boy. So,
quick.
Oh, wow.
but the lazy boy is
It
nice.
doesn't say what booze
Can
to
I-
add to this.
Can I send you a
Azalea
picture,
cocktail.
Josh, producer Josh?
Sure.
By the way, just saw this tweet from Jeff Goodman.
Hi, Jeff.
Another thing that's happening right around this time of year is people are moving jobs. So it's been assumed that Darren DeVries is
Going to Iowa.
going to be the Iowa coach.
Yes. We
Here
all
is-
know this now,
Here's
right?
the tweet from Jeff Goodman. West Virginia's Darren DeVries has emerged as one of, if not the top candidate for the Indiana job.
Oh.
I'm told by sources that nothing is done yet, but DeVries could wind up being the guy. Drake's Ben McCollum and a third mystery candidate is still in the mix as well. The mystery.
Why wouldn't Goodman release the mystery candidate?
Oh, you never know. Maybe he doesn't know the mystery candidate.
He's been very good. Well, not very good, but he's just been on it about telling everybody who's getting hired where, according to what he's been told. That's kind of been his. I don't want to call it shtick.
D-Rock's gonna have his options. It appears.
It
So,
appears.
Iowa.
What would
if you really want him, go get him.
What is his other option outside of Iowa? You think?
Indiana. It appears.
Could be. I don't think it'd be a bad hire for Indiana. I think they could get somebody with more experience. I think D-Rock is a very good coach. Don't get me wrong.
Who like somebody at a sitting?
Yeah, probably in a
at
sitting role.
sitting job right now.
You got to think they have enough money, right, to just kind of put their on the table and just say, "Hey, come coach for us," right?
Yeah, but is
I
it
mean-
is it attractive?
Yeah, no. I mean, it is
How
the classic
attractive
question: was it just Bobby Knight, or is it the actual program?
Is it? How attractive is it?
I do think
D-Rock's
so.
wanted to be the coach at Iowa for a long time.
Yeah, I think it'd be a great hire for Iowa. It'd be a really, really good hire for Iowa. It's
Definitely.
a damn shame that he doesn't get to coach in the NCAA.
Maybe Indiana can just grab up Fran McCaffrey. He's sitting out there. He said he wants to coach again.
I really hope it's not Chris Collins, but apparently Chris Collins is going to lead to Villanova.
I've heard the Chris Collins Villanova stuff.
I think he's ready. I think he's ready to leave. I think that
that'd be an interesting hire for them.
It would be.
I don't know if I'd be fully on board with that if I was a Villanova guy.
So Chris is funny because Chris is a really good coach, and he's a really good guy. Like there's a lot of connection there. But I do think that now that Barnheiser is gone and Barry is gone, and this kind of golden age, if you will, of Northwestern basketball talent has gone on and graduated and whatnot. I mean, I think he's ready to go. I think he kind of knows that his ceiling is making it to the Sweet 16, and that he's done the job long enough and has accomplished enough to be heralded as the greatest coach of that organization. And I do think the changing landscape of the Big Ten and where Northwestern falls in that, or more accurately, where Northwestern doesn't fall in that, could definitely have him looking toward going to a more basketball conference as opposed to staying in the Big Ten. I mean, you heard what he said at the end of their conference game about how he was sick and tired of the league and the league is treating him bad. And
great take.
The
Big Ten sucks.
They suck, and then all that stuff. And then on top of that, it's curious that he bowed out of going to a postseason tournament because Northwestern actually would be a team that would benefit, I think, from being in a postseason tournament because they are young. They have Mullins, they have Wyndham, Schiravino. Like, you're going to get Nick Martinelli hopefully back for another year. Like, it would have made sense for them to try and do gain more momentum going into the postseason. He just said, no, I don't want to do that. So I'm curious as to maybe that's because he's looking to get another job.
I'd be looking to go somewhere else.
I would be too. Yeah. I think he's done. And
the other Big Ten,
I think Porter Mosier would be a great hire for Northwestern.
It's a Chicago guy.
That'd be good. That'd be really good for him.
So the other Big Ten name that keeps getting thrown around, who could potentially leave a job, is dear Mr. Cronin, who is triggered all the time.
All the time.
He does not like being in the Big Ten.
But it works. Like, they win, or at least they've won enough.
But he hates it.
He hates it.
And he's always a weird fit.
Broken Mick Cronin.
He's always been a weird fit at UCLA for me. But so I don't know. Maybe he ends up back in the Midwest somewhere.
I don't know. Well, maybe. I mean, I'm not going to act as if I know like the intentions and where Mick Cronin would want to go. But it would be funny if Chris Collins went to Villanova, and I think then Porter Mosier went to Northwestern. Even though Oklahoma is a better job than Northwestern, I do think that Porter might want to go back to Chicago and then also reset the clock, on his, because before they went on that good run at the end of the year, there was a lot of talk of him being on the hot seat at Oklahoma. So maybe he resets the clock there, goes back home, and then maybe Mick Cronin to Oklahoma.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Sure.
This is a weird.
There's a lot of moving parts.
Weird season. I'm not saying any of this can happen, but I'm just kind of throwing it out there.
Love the carousel.
Yeah, it's interesting. Carousel. I mean, this year's going to be kind of wild with a lot of the jobs that are open and the moving parts and whatnot.
Oh yeah, it's going to be good.
I sent you that picture. Did you see that? See that chair? It's an awesome chair that I bought.
Oh yeah, this a couple weeks ago, right?
No, this one right here. Look at that thing. Look at this lazy boy.
Yeah, right. That'll work.
Look at that.
The job done.
That's a good
Look
chair.
how incredible.
What's a cup holder situation?
No cup holder.
All right. You got a table next to you?
I have to build one today.
All right. That'll get the job done.
Today is laundry day for Matt McMaster, which is, well, I have my cup shirt, but which is why I have these baggy sweatpants.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have to clean up the room, get the table built, and then we'll be like we'll be done.
Are you hosting people at your abode for the tournament games?
Nope. No.
Are you going to kick back and are you going to end up at a bar somewhere?
So Thursday. So I have to work Friday. Okay. So Thursday
Must
is
be
just
nice.
gonna.
Yeah,
Must be rough.
You guys have shows.
We have shows.
Yeah.
It's
You do
unfortunate.
not.
Enjoy the
So-
College World Series as well.
Yep,
Sorry.
Yeah.
yep. So we have a show Friday. So it's not necessarily going to be as many sandwiches and
Dang,
beers.
you'll be up late watching the Mavs. too.
I will have. So that is kind of what sucks is that the Mavs are going to end around like 12 o'clock. Then I'll have to go right to bed. Wake up.
Yeah, like 11. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Well, it'll be 8:45. So
Yeah.
it'll be around 11. Then I'll probably head to bed around 12. Have 4 hours. Get up, do the show, which will be an easy show because it's just going to be Crane and Omaha and what the hell happened, right, and the rest of the bracket. I don't know. I'm considering on Friday. Do I take a nap? Miss maybe the early slate of the games and then
Let's
head
see.
out to a big old bar on Friday? Like that's kind of what I want. To
Let me
do.
help you. Let me assist
Yeah.
you in your
What is the
decisions.
Friday slate?
We can workshop this.
All right. So Friday,
Garbo
Uh,
slate.
first game, Baylor, Mississippi State, followed
Yeah.
by Robert Morris,
No,
Alabama,
don't care.
Iowa State, Lipscomb,
Nah, that could be a good game, especially with Gilbert out.
CSU, Memphis.
That's another good. But those two teams, like Memphis, is hurt too. That could be
Duke and the winner of tomorrow's 16 seed game.
No, I don't care about that. What time are we at now?
We're all the way to 2:00.
That's good. I can do that.
Okay, so you're just gonna voluntarily say I don't think so to potentially Lipscomb, Iowa State.
That's really the game where I'm going to be like,
No, Memphis,
man.
Colorado State would be good.
Yeah, that'll be a good. I'm gonna have to say no to those two games because I'm watching every game Thursday.
You got it.
I have to. I literally have to. And then show Friday, nap later Friday. DJ's at Exarban. You can come say hi to me.
Wow. You got plans.
I love DJs in Exarban. That is like my just spot. I just
You
enjoy.
found a spot.
I just enjoy going there. It's a
Important.
spot that I went to even before I went to Omaha.
Look at that.
So I enjoy going there.
Excellent. Well, I'm glad you have concepts of a plan.
Well, did you hear my take? I love eating turkey sandwiches for the NCAA tournament. That's my food of choice.
Just turkey sandwiches.
I just love like a jury. Like I would prefer like if we're
like a
talking-
sub.
Like a sub. I'm just a sub for NCAA
Oh,
tournaments.
yeah, I'd rip a sub.
Wings and beer
Mm-hmm.
and pizza for football. Sub sandwiches for NCAA tournament.
Yeah, there's that first day of the tournament. Now, our weather is going to be a bit confusing on Thursday and Friday.
When isn't our weather a bit confusing?
So, but I think the sun will be out on Thursday. But you always, you kind of
Meh.
you open the blinds, get that natural sunlight in. There's a glare on your television,
Yeah.
and then
Oh.
you just start watching all the games.
Oh.
And before you know it, it's 5:00.
And
Damn
the
you guys.
cooler- The
Hey.
cooler you packed is empty.
Damn
Oh.
you guys for not having shows. You lucky sons of guns.
We have to get out of the way to make
Mhm.
way for the
Make
tournament.
That's what
way.
the people want.
Exactly. That's
Yep.
what the people want.
It's provocative.
All right. Well, you have a great day.
Hey, you guys too, man. Appreciate it. We'll see you tomorrow.
Okay. That is the crossover powered by Everlevel Concrete Repair in Omaha at everlevelconcrete.com. It's Tuesday. We'll start things off next.
That's the crossover. The Connor Happer Show is next on 1620 The Zone. It's the Connor Happer Show. Are we sure we want to do this?
Could you, make an announcement that we're ready?
It's the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
All right, welcome in. Happy Tuesday. It's the Connor Happer Show here on 1620 The Zone and on 1620thezone.com. Connor Happer, Josh Odson with you. I'm looking at the front page of the New York Post.
You're such a New York guy
right now.
Oh, my goodness.
I didn't pick up a copy while I was out there, but you know who's on the front page?
Is it the front page or the back page?
It's one of the pages.
Okay.
It's probably not the front page now that I look at it a little bit closer. Markel Sutton.
Oh.
Markel Sutton. As John Gruden would call him. They got Markel Sutton.
I assumed it was going to be Tracy Morgan, I'll be honest. I thought that's where we were going.
We're in the St. John's section of the paper.
Okay.
It appears here in the March Madness section of the paper. And then there's a picture of an Omaha assistant flying through the air.
Whoa.
In the process of destroying a trash can. Right there on the New York Post.
Tournament darling.
How good is that? I tell you what, if I'm a St. John's guy and I picked up the Post today and I saw Markel Sutton and then a coach flying through the air en route to a destroyed, beat up trash can, I'm a little concerned. Speaking of trash cans,
I want to kill myself, jump in the cold and die of frostbite.
Thank you, Rick. Speaking of, today, the Outrunners, the super fans of the Omaha Mavericks basketball team, the adopted super fans of the Omaha Mavericks basketball team, will join us in studio.
I have just received word.
All right. That they won't join us?
No.
Okay.
No,
that's
nothing
good.
like that. Well, actually something like that. Turbo Floyd's flight was canceled this morning, and he will not be in until after the show. However,
we do get Truth Magnum.
Truth Magnum, a.k.a. the Nacho Spiller.
That's the one we want.
Will be in studio with us.
Yeah, that's probably okay. I don't know how it would have handled two wrestlers.
Yeah, there would have been one on each side of you, right?
Now, is he going to be all oiled up?
I don't think so. The show's not till tomorrow.
I don't know. You don't know.
I don't.
Well, I hope Turbo Floyd makes it in time.
They will be fresh off the UNO Omaha send-off.
That's right.
Which takes place at noon today.
That's right. So they'll join us at 1. Jacob Bigelow will join us at 12:30 today, and we'll flip those two. You had to break the news to Jacob last night that we were switching him in favor of oiled up wrestlers.
I didn't say why.
Well, now he knows.
Hi, Jacob.
Start spreading the news. That's right. The Outrunners are coming in at 1 o'clock. And Allan Bell will join at 11:30. That is the lineup powered by the Rooferees at John Higgins Weather Guard. I'd love to hear from you all today on the show, 402-951-1620. You can call or text that number. Got some calls yesterday. Love to hear your voices. Continue to call into the show. Text into the show, 402-951-1620. Tweet at Happer Show, at Connor Happer on the JTech Construction Zone Twitter feed. Email Connor and Josh Show at 1620thezone.com on the Equitable Bank Zone inbox. And we say good morning to the YouTube streamers today. What's up, everybody? How we doing? We're a little choppy there on the stream. Josh, you appear frozen to me. Am I frozen to you?
No.
Okay. All right. It looks like we're back now, too. Where Platcat said earlier, Josh on his A game.
Thanks, Platcat.
Josh on his A game. Josh is bringing it today. Absolutely no doubt about it.
You got some new close personal friends in the studio today.
That's right. You got to expand that Rolodex a little bit.
That's right. Get your digis.
We could be on texting terms. By the way,
should we have Frank Caliendo on the show this week?
Have we tracked down Frank? What is he? I assume he's going to Lexington, Kentucky.
I could ask today.
Hey, Frank, you going to
Lexington?
Well, I don't know what Frank's schedule is. Mm-hmm. He'll be back with us. What, early May?
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay, we'll unpack the basketball season with him and just have great conversation. Mm-hmm. We're not going to yell at. We're not going to say, "Hey, Frank, did you do?"
He's not a jukebox.
Exactly.
He's a human being.
That's right, and he is our close personal friend. Mm-hmm. Elsewhere today on the show, Coach Prime has a different idea for the spring game than Matt Rule did. Very different.
I don't know if you've heard this. They're opposites, the two of them.
Whose side are you on? Matt Rule or Coach Prime? How much do you love your spring game? We have the first four tonight. Lock in for St. Francis and Alabama State, 540 True TV, San Diego State, North Carolina, 810 True TV. Welcome to Dayton, everybody.
Okay, now just real quick, let's get this out of the way. You don't have to make the joke of,
Where's True TV?
Where's True TV? I don't know.
It's available.
Mm-hmm.
You have it.
You know where it is, damn it.
You know where it is. And if you don't know where it is and you don't want to find it, then that's fine. You could miss these first four games and not be, you not have your NCAA tournament card taken away from you. It's really okay. I always passingly watch these games.
If you want to publicly admit that you're an idiot who doesn't know how to work your TV, that's on you.
Yeah. No, don't get me wrong. I absolutely have the channel and
you know where it is.
And it will just, my YouTube TV tells me what to watch. Yeah. And so it'll tell me tonight that I need to be watching those two games. I will not be even available to watch any of the games tonight because I'll be calling Creighton baseball tonight.
Baseball.
At home against South Dakota State.
1180 The Zone.
On 1180 The Zone. First pitch at 6 o'clock. They moved the game up a day because apparently there will be a blizzard tomorrow. What's up with, why can't we just get regular snow? What's up with blizzard?
Yeah. I can handle a regular snow.
What's the deal with blizzards?
Blizzard, I got a plan for.
Yeah, I know. It's going to make it treacherous.
Everyone's going to send your work from home emails now.
Another public puker has entered the chat.
There are more and more of us with each passing day.
Very much on video, Josh. Very much on video.
My vomit is not on video. You can tell that I was vomiting, but my actual vomit is not on camera.
Well, when you puke on camera, it lives forever.
Sure.
And I hope Tracy Morgan's doing okay.
Welcome to the club, Tracy.
I don't know what was going on there, but he's the most recent puker, public puker.
Want to be very
courtside at Madison Square Garden.
That's a terrible place to vomit in public.
Possibly worse than here in the studio while Random Mike calls.
I think like the only worse place would be like at the White House or like worse public places to puke.
Yeah. I mean, there's definitely times too.
Yeah. A lot of times, but
yeah, time, that one wasn't, I mean, it's just a,
it did delay the tip of the game.
It's just a regular old Knicks game. Yeah, there's definitely worse times, but that might be one of the worst places. Courtside at MSG.
You would know.
Yeah, I didn't puke there, so that worked out for me. I did puke at Allen Fieldhouse though.
Oh, okay.
Have you puked at Allen Fieldhouse, Josh?
I have not, and that is now our next poll question.
What's the most famous place you've puked? Like what is the most well-known setting for, I mean, obviously for you, it's here? Right there in that chair.
Yeah.
Usually it's in my bathroom. And in one case, while Nebraska was playing Kansas, it was in the Allen Fieldhouse bathroom. And they thought I was, the people at Allen Fieldhouse thought I was hammered. And I was in the bathroom. Blah, and they were like, and I heard them in the background while the stall was closed. Some people just can't handle Allen Fieldhouse. I'm like, no, I'm sick. I'm sick. I had a bad meal. I was feeling horrible. I puked. I'm sorry. It really spoiled my first game at Allen Fieldhouse.
I bet.
It was not as fun as I wanted it to be.
Have you returned?
I haven't been back since. I haven't been back since, and I didn't go there before. One and only time at Allen Fieldhouse, puked. So that's my story, I guess. We have a Happy Gilmore 2 trailer, and I'd like to ask a question today about Adam Sandler. All right?
It's okay.
I just want to ask it. I just want to ask it.
Some of us have been asking it since Pixels.
All right, we're gonna publicly and directly ask the question about Adam Sandler today. Is it possible that the committee accidentally mixed up Memphis and Louisville? We'll investigate.
I like this theory.
During the show today. Baseball is here. My NCAA tournament guide is here. And Creighton and UConn draws 1.4 million viewers in the Big East semifinal because people love watching Creighton basketball. Not just here.
That's why.
But nationally, people love watching Creighton basketball. And John Gruden gets himself all maved up yesterday. Great video.
That guy. He's got so much free stuff.
He imagine how many boxes that guy's getting now. Mm-hmm. So I think I saw one of the earlier ones, and the bit was he was so bad at opening the boxes.
Oh,
he was like horrendous at opening up the box. He would destroy the box.
I never bothered to look up the origin point of this bit.
He started getting these items from these teams, and he was really bad at opening the box. And then now they've given him a box cutter, and he's a lot better at it, which is good. By the way, Brian writes in via text.
Hi, Brian.
I puked in center field during the game at the old Buck Belzer baseball field. That's pretty good.
Hello.
Brian, were you playing at Buck Belzer? Who is this? Is this Brian Dunsing? No, that would have been too late. I don't know. Yeah, so that's a good one. Right in the middle. Center field at the old Buck. Luckily, you can't trace back the evidence. It's gone. I mean, that ground still exists, but it's not Buck Belzer anymore. All right, that is the setup for today's show. We are very, very pleased that you have decided to join us today. Also on the show, we have a 4-pack of Supernovas tickets that we're going to send somebody's way this afternoon.
That's right.
As well. Thanks for being with us. We'll be back after this on the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone. Brian, who puked in center field at the Buck.
Hello again, Brian.
He's not Brian Dunsing, but he did play against Nebraska when he was at UNO. There you go. Former UNO baseball player Brian.
Okay.
Puked in center field at Buck Belter. Luckily, I don't think those games were streamed back then, so nobody got a close-up shot of Brian puking in center field. There was just the evidence, which was obviously not soaked into the carpet at the Buck. Probably made a little bit of a stain.
Sure.
Something like that. But Tom Osborne was probably a little triggered, that he had to work around the puke when his football team had to practice for spring ball. Yeah. Okay. All right. That's good. That's good follow-up information. Also, I do have some news for you here.
Oh.
Jacob Bigelow will be joining the show in studio today.
In studio today?
In studio. I mean, he's coming on the show today, right?
Wow. Yes. Yeah.
He's like, I'm off, baby. So let's talk some hoop.
Wow. 3 guests, 2 of them in studio. I don't think this has ever happened before.
3 guests, 2 of them in studio. Yeah, where's Allan? He keeps not coming for the College World Series.
Yeah. He got halfway here last time, and his dad had to turn around and drive back.
Yeah, definitely. Yes, for sure. We'll still talk to Allan over the phone at 11:30. By the way, David writes in.
Hi, David.
On YouTube regarding Creighton. You know who doesn't like watching Creighton basketball? People who don't like watching overrated teams who refuse to play defense and centers who can't handle athletic bigs.
Just say athletic.
Yeah. Is that a good description of Creighton?
It is a great description of. It tells me that he likes to watch Nebraska ball.
Yeah.
Who?
Well, as we continue on in the tournament, in the comments here, Jimmy says, "I like watching Creighton basketball, David." And then David says, "That's nice, and I bet you're a J-sker."
Wrong form of your.
Jimmy's like, "No, I root for both. Root for Nebraska over Cray when they play each other." I actually do think that probably that qualifies you as a J-sker. It's okay. It doesn't have to be like a bad word. People are like, that does always happen. You're like, yeah, I root for Creighton basketball and Nebraska football. And people are like, you're a J-sker. And I'm like, yeah.
What are you going to do about it?
What's the point? I don't get it. You're using that as a derogatory term, and it's really not.
I don't have to feel the pain of Nebraska ball every March. No, the crown will be good, though. It'll be real good for them.
It will be, Josh.
It'll be good for them to go out and see the world. Not parts of the world where winners play. But
I can tell you, Vegas is lovely this time of year.
Sure.
I love the MGM Grand.
Stadium swim?
Absolutely. Yeah, you get, apparently there. So I was reading through last night. Apparently the media hotel is the Circa. And nice. You get, if you are a credentialed media, you get access to Stadium Swim, which is not cheap.
We could be credentialed media very easily.
We could, but I don't think I might need a Vegas break.
I don't think it's you need a Vegas break. I think it's your daughter needs you to remember who daddy is.
Yeah. Oh, she knows.
Okay.
She looks at me and she's like, Dada.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's enough.
Sometimes I have to ask her to say it, but yeah, I think she gets it.
Okay.
She's got 2 front teeth on the.
Oh, wow.
It's great. We just give her a little orange, and she just a little wedge of an orange, and she just goes to town on it.
Sure.
Like a kiwi. She can't really chew. She's figuring that part out. That's great. So
milestones.
I don't really need a teacher. I just need to guide her.
Yeah.
Right?
Should we get in a bagel with you before you know it?
I need to be there before you guide. By the way, speaking of bagels, just a word of advice for people. If you feel like you want a bagel, get a good bagel. That's just my advice. All right. Don't skimp on the bagels.
Connor came back from New York, and now our bagels aren't good enough.
No. It's not about us or them. I didn't even have a great, like, classic New York bagel when I was in New York. I got a bagel sandwich like an idiot. So I didn't even have a big bagel with cream cheese, but I thought I wanted a bagel this morning, and I usually go to my favorite place in town, Bagel Bin. And I'm like, yeah, it's kind of out of the way a little bit. I don't know if I really want to go. I'll just go to somewhere a little bit closer and a little bit more on the route to where I'm going to work. Got that bagel and did not enjoy it. There are bad bagels. Josh, just so you know.
I have heard this.
Okay. All right, good. We have a couple minutes here. Let's talk about the Happy Gilmore 2 trailer.
Okay. We're asking serious questions right out of the gate.
Yep.
Okay. I like it.
Right here. I think it's thought-provoking, and I want people's opinions on this. So Happy Gilmore 2 is coming out this summer. I watched the trailer. A lot of references to the old movie, Happy Gilmore. There was Julie Bowen appears to be in it, which is great.
She's back.
Plenty of old stars from Happy Gilmore 1. Many professional golfers, things like that.
Did you see Ben Stiller?
Ben Stiller was in there, which is great. He plays the nurse. I wonder what he's up to now. There's just going to be a whole lot of, oh wow, yes, Happy Gilmore. What a movie. But this movie, on its face, is going to be bad. It's going to be bad. Doesn't mean I won't see it. I will see it, probably. But it ain't going to be good. And so, why is it that, and this is not even a slight at Adam Sandler, but why is it that we simply do not care that Sandler is on an epic run of horrible money grab movies? When anyone else does this, we're like, yeah, I actually hate this person. Stop doing this to us. But with Sandler, we're like, you make whatever crap movie you want. I'm happy. You make your money, Adam Sandler. And I guess the reasoning is because he's a great guy, and he wears really baggy shorts and he likes to play pickup basketball. And I guess that's just the answer. But if we treated him like we treat all the other actors in Hollywood, we would be yelling at Adam Sandler nonstop from the top of the mountain saying, Adam, please stop doing this. Please stop doing this. And they've gone another step forward, and they are risking potentially besmirching the good name of Happy Gilmore, a prized and honored movie.
A sequel can be bad enough that it hurts the original.
Yes, absolutely. And so I just wanted to ask that question right off the bat today. Sandler,
great question.
We love you. We support you. I'm happy that you're getting your money, but we don't treat them like the other actors. We don't hold them to the same stuff. Don't mess with the Zohan.
Oh,
bad.
One of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life.
There's been some really, really, truly bad movies, and obvious, and he's admitted it. Maybe it's that. Maybe that he's admitted it. It's like, yeah, I took a deal with Netflix to pay me a gajillion dollars to make 10 movies, and they're all going to suck, and nobody will watch them, but they're going to pay me a lot of money, so I will do it.
They send me to an island to make a movie with my friends. Yeah. It's a sweet gig. Who among us would say no to it?
Maybe it's the transparency.
A lot of people have jobs because of Adam Sandler.
Yep.
A lot of crew members and things like that. But it's been 20 years since Adam Sandler made a funny movie.
As a movie goer, Josh, how do you feel about Sandler's very, very long, decades-long run now of crap?
Connor, I started asking this question about 15 years ago, and people said, well, no, it's the Sandman. What are you doing? What are you talking about?
Well, now it's been 15 years, and we have nothing. We have no examples to the good, with the possible exception of Uncut Gems, which I didn't love as much as many people did.
It was a great dramatic turn.
Yeah.
He's great in the Hotel Transylvania movies where we don't see him, and he has very little control over what happens in the movie.
Say it, Josh. Say it. Say it.
Washed?
Oh, yeah.
Although,
But we love Sandler.
We do. We love
Sandler. I could never say anything bad about him, but this is going to be horrible.
When he walked up to that beautiful, beautiful Timothée Chalamet boy and said, Chalamet!
That was funny.
It was funny. And I'm like,
I saw it. I
can't be mad at this guy.
I saw the glimmer in his eye. It felt like it was the 90s all over again. I loved when he said that.
He starts strumming that guitar and singing about Chris Farley, like, or Hanukkah. Like, I'm just like,
yes,
man, I can't be mad at you.
Yes. But the movies, they're bad. And this one is going to be bad.
He is also, from almost all accounts, an unproblematic movie star.
He is a great person.
Which we don't have.
We love Adam Sandler. But and this is, I mean, we just answered our own question.
I think
probably.
we did.
This is the reason why we probably don't, hold him to the same standard as everybody else, just because we like him. And that's okay. But I just wanted to let you guys know that this movie is going to be awful. Awful.
I think it's just going to be, hey, remember when we did this in the original Happy Gilmore? That was funny.
Yeah.
For 90 minutes.
People are just naming Adam Sandler movies in the comments now.
That's fun.
Which is fine.
Please continue doing that all day.
Yeah. Can I get an Adam Sandler movie in the chat? Chris says Click was awesome with Kate Beckinsale. Click was not awesome. Click was horrendously sad and a good concept. And mildly funny at times.
I mean, if I'm in an executive boardroom and somebody says, "Hey,
he's got Click.
We can get Adam Sandler and Christopher Walken in a
Bed Bath and Beyond
mythological Bed Bath and Beyond."
Yes,
I'm like, you know what? Okay, I would like to see that.
Chris says Grown Ups was hilarious. Grown Ups was good. This is late stage Sandler at this point. David, of course, says Big Daddy was good. Well, Big Daddy was in Prime Sandler.
Yeah,
that's Prime Sandler. That's money. Charles says Spanglish. Spanglish was not good.
No.
Jimmy says Little Nicky was god awful.
That is correct.
Little Nicky is a bad movie that took place in the Sandler Prime, and I think because of that, I don't care that it was bad. So, I don't even care that it was
Little
bad.
Nicky's a little complicated
Popeye's
because
chicken.
That's a good character, but the movie was terrible. If you're writing the character Little Nicky and you're writing things for him to do, like, that's a funny character. But that movie stunk.
So just want you guys to be aware of this. We're gonna put it on your radar a little bit. I know people the immediate reaction to seeing Happy Gilmore 2 trailers to be like, oh my God, we are so back. I bet Dan Patrick will talk about it on a show like a lot for the next 2 months because he's going to star in it.
He's going to have one cast member every week.
He's going to be in it at some point. He'll be super fired up about it, but I just want to let you guys know that this, it'll be great for them to get the band back together. Really happy for Julie Bowen. Haven't seen her in a while.
Just think of this. Netflix could put this in a theater.
Yes.
And make hundreds of millions of dollars for 10 days, and then nobody would go see it. And they're choosing not to.
That's right.
Why?
Good note. Ask yourself the question. Jimmy writes in 50 First Dates was amazing. Admit that. I do admit that. I loved 50 First Dates, actually. Because the premise aside from Drew Barrymore has no memory or very short-term memory, somehow one day long memory, is that Adam Sandler was like a ladies' man before that. He's like, for the first 10 minutes of the movie, he's kind of strutting around and
totally normal.
I'm like, what's going on here? I don't know that I can agree with this premise. All right. Just to put that on your radar. By the way, a lot of comments coming in for Hustle. Albino Tornado writes in, Hustle was also pretty good. The Happy Madison movies are vacays with his buddies at an awesome location that movies happen to come out of. Just don't expect it to be a thing. But Jack and Jill level. Yeah. Jack and Jill, rough. Oof. Maybe as bad as it gets for anyone ever.
Yeah. Al Pacino was in that movie.
We'll be back. Sorry to make you sad to start things off today on the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
let's get back to the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
All right, welcome back in. More of the Connor Happer Show here on 1620 The Zone and on 1620thezone.com. The NCAA Tournament Guide is here. Oh, yeah. Matt Eisenberg does this. It is 244 pages long. It is packed with everything that you could possibly wonder about as it pertains to each of the 68 teams in the NCAA tournament. 68 teams, not 100 teams.
Yet.
Not 500 teams in the NCAA tournament. And it has historical analysis, matchup analysis, seed analysis, team pages, and all these different things. It's been a great resource over the last couple of years. So I went and I looked through some notables here that pertain to our local teams as far as seed matchups to give you some historical precedents. So in a 9-8 game, like Creighton will be in on Thursday at 11:15, right here on 1620 The Zone, by the way, and 1019 The Keg. Against
not 1019 The Keg.
And not 1019 The Keg, I apologize. Just 1620 The Zone and the Varsity Network app.
That's right.
Thank you, Josh. I like, by the way, that you are like kind of the boss and you know the answers to these. Like, I can't get away with these things now. This is great. It helps. It helps give us the right information.
I'm here to help.
Thank you. When the 8th seed is favored, which they are in the case of Louisville and Creighton, the 8th seed, going back to the 2009 NCAA tournament, is 15-18 straight up, 12-21 against the spread. The spread is 4.5, I believe, right now for Louisville. Or unless I'm thinking of a line for tonight's game. Hang on.
I can't help you there.
Yeah, I could get to that point. 2.5. I apologize. 2.5 is the Louisville spread.
It's tight.
It is. 12-21 against the spread. I mean, that's pretty. I mean, so either we're gonna be dealing with a very, very, very close game, or 15-18 straight up is pretty much dead even. When the 9 seed is favored, which is not the case in this situation, the 8 seed is 15-11 and 16-10 ATS. When the 8 seed scores under 70 points, they are 9-22 straight up and 7-24 against the spread. And since 2021, they are 1-7 straight up while scoring under 70 points. When the 9 seed scores under 70 points, the 8 seed is, so the 9 seed is 8-20 in those games. When leading at halftime, the 8 seed is 24-9 straight up since 2009. When the 8 seed has a worse Bart Torvik ranking than the 9 seed, the 8 seed is 15-13 straight up at 13-15 against the spread. But in this case, Louisville's Bart Torvik ranking is, I believe, higher than Creighton's. And there's a whole bunch of other information on this thing just to kind of get people prepared for the NCAA tournament. So going back for 5 tournaments now, the 8 seeds went 1-3 last year, 2-2 the year before, 1-3 the year before that, 3-1 the year before that, and then going back before COVID, 2019 tournament, the 8 seeds did not win a game. They went 0-4 against the 9 seeds in the NCAA tournament. So in the last 10, the 8 seeds are 19-21 straight up. And since in the last 15 tournaments since 2009, the 8 seeds are 31-29. So what does this information tell you, Josh? It tells you, oh, yeah, we probably didn't need a whole bunch of seed analysis on the 8-9 game because these are 2 teams that are pretty close to one another, and it's a crapshoot. That's pretty much the story.
That's what I was thinking.
Is that exactly what you were thinking?
Pretty close.
How about the 2s versus the 15s?
That's probably a little more telling.
Well,
I guess same result.
Yeah.
Right?
So over the last 10 NCAA tournaments, the 2 seeds against 15s, which is Omaha against St. John's, we're thinking about in this case. In the last 10 tournaments, 2 seeds are 36-4. Since 2009, 2 seeds are 53-7 against 2 seeds. Maybe not as bad as I thought it would. Like, I'm trying to think of all the 2 seeds, sort of off the top of my head, that have taken down the 15s. Obviously, the first one that I remember is Norfolk State. That was right here in Omaha.
I was there.
Josh was there.
Courtside.
Connor was there. I was not courtside. I was like behind the basket. And then Kyle O'Quinn walked up through the aisles and gave everybody a high five on his way out of the building. It was fantastic. What a great time. And so the last 15 that beat a 2, it did not happen last year. But it did happen the year before that when Princeton beat Arizona.
Oh, Princeton.
Remember Princeton?
I do remember Princeton.
It actually happened, I believe, twice. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then 3 years ago, I guess, was the St. Peter's over Kentucky situation. Then before that, Oral Roberts beating Ohio State. So there is a Summit League precedent there. But do the Mavs have like a Max Asmus type of guy? I do not. I don't know. Maybe Markel Sutton is that guy. I love this. I tweeted it out earlier. This is, I just like looking at the numbers. There's a whole bunch of different colors. It's organized perfectly.
Presentation is very well done.
The presentation is absolutely fantastic.
I used it last year for the Omaha games.
That's right. Yeah. Didn't you print some of them out?
Oh yeah, gotta have them hard copies.
Didn't you print some of them out and bring them with you to the? Good job by you, Josh.
Was I working in any capacity? No, not really.
No, but you had your papers and your legal pad.
Yeah.
Were you writing anything down on your legal pad?
I brought it just in case. I didn't really end up needing it at all.
Did you write anything on there? Did you write like the starting lineups or something like that?
No.
Did you keep any papers that you got from the NCAA tournament last year? Did you keep any like box scores or quotes or anything like that they distribute to the media?
Normally I do. I can't recall in this instance.
That probably tells you what you need to know about if you actually need to do that or not.
Yeah. No, you don't.
So that's, there's great stuff on there. I don't want to bore you to death with all of it, but I already have for 10 minutes of your life. So let's go somewhere else here. So yesterday there was some discussion about, and there will continue to be discussion about Louisville and the seed they got in the NCAA tournament, where they were projected by most to be a 5 or a 6. They ended up getting an 8. And then to pair along with that, Memphis ended up getting a 5, where they were projected to be in the 8 to 9 range. So here is a side-by-side of both of these teams as they led into the NCAA tournament and as they led into Selection Sunday. Louisville's net ranking 24, Memphis's 49. Louisville's RPI 16, Memphis's 22. KenPom ranked Louisville 23, Memphis 34. Bart Torvik, Louisville's 19, Memphis 40. BPI, Louisville 20, Memphis 42. So there is I would say, a 2 to 3 seed gap in between those teams, but somehow they were flipped. And so let me ask you this question, Josh. Is it at all possible that the committee accidentally mixed up Memphis and Louisville? That when they scrubbed the brackets and they do all the things that they did, they simply just placed them in the wrong place, because nothing about Memphis's resume or whatever says that they're a 5, and nothing about Louisville's resume says that they're an 8. They would never admit this.
Mm-hmm. Right.
They would never admit this. And nor will we ever know the answer to this. But I am not putting it past the NCAA committee. And by the way, like, Memphis got stuck with Colorado State as one of the hottest teams in the country right now. Like, they might lose in the first game. I'll repeat, and it's important with, North Carolina tonight playing in the play-in game, and all these teams really that come into the play-in games, where you're seated has no bearing on your capability to win NCAA tournament games. It obviously is people always say it's all about matchups in the NCAA tournament, and it definitely is all about matchups. So with that being said, you could make the case actually that Memphis got it worse by being in the 5-12 game. But the point is, they were seated 3 lines higher than Louisville was, and Louisville was seated 3 lines too low. Louisville got screwed hard because they have to play a good Creighton team, followed immediately by a 1 seed. But, if they were on that 5 line, they'd probably going up against a 12, and everybody loves the 5-12s every year.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I could tell you the information on how many 5s have beaten 12s, but that's another thing. But let me ask, is it possible that this happened?
Now, I know immediately many of you are scoffing, going, no, Connor, it is not possible. I think it might actually be true, given the set of data you revealed.
It's just too particular, right? You have only these 2 teams really that got completely, I mean, with the exception of like Oklahoma, who's a 9 seed, and I can't figure that out, but you could just, say SEC. And, it turns out they weren't really that much of a bubble team at all. They just made the tournament. They made it with relative ease. But generally, these were the only 2 teams that got mishandled this badly, according to what the bracketologists said about them leading into the NCAA tournament. And this is not a point for the bracketologists or anything like that, but when you're looking at 111 brackets, as the bracket matrix does, you get a general consensus of where this is going to be. And these people, these nerds and weirdos, have studied this crap for years.
Half of those nerds, I contend, are just copying other brackets that they see and aren't doing the work themselves.
That actually might be true. That's a good conspiracy. I like that. I like that.
I'm just doing it for clicks.
But they know, like they, or some of them know, right? Have a pretty good idea of where these teams are going to end up. And really, it's not that hard. You kind of just rank them. You do it like a top 25 poll. The top 25 poll right now says that Louisville is the 10th best team in the country. And they ended up as an 8 seed in the NCAA tournament. So I believe it is possible. I am not making an accusation. I'm not saying this definitely happened. I don't have the information or the data to back that up, Josh. I don't.
Sure.
I don't have that in front of my face right now. But using the information that I do have, it seems a little more than coincidental that these 2 teams exactly flipped resumes and flipped seed lines. If you attach the other team to the resume, they end up being on the correct seed line, and it fits. It's just a puzzle piece like that. You take one out and you're like, oh, and then the whole kind of thing comes together.
Is there a reason that Louisville could not have gone to Seattle to play a game? The Memphis-Colorado State game being in Seattle?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't think
could Memphis not go to Lexington?
Clearly not. They put Louisville in Lexington. Also, once again, it's an 8 seed that's playing an hour away.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. We talked about, that leading into the tournament last year with Nebraska playing in Omaha and how the NCAA, would do it if the circumstance was right. But usually they like to give the favorable advantages to the 1 seeds or the higher seeds in the bracket instead of the 8 seed. But sometimes you can't help it. So that's another probably point of evidence in the back pocket of the conspiracy theorists.
Now, the number 1 overall seed having that happen to them is kind of weird.
It is possible.
Mm-hmm.
It is possible.
I think you're more right than you're giving yourself credit for.
I've just seen I can't adopt. I mean, I'm just adopting this as my theory. I've seen this out there. I've seen this being talked about a little bit, and I thought, whoa, thank you for presenting the evidence in this way. It is it's pretty damning. By the way, 5-12s. So this is in the case of now Memphis, who really should have been an 8, but ended up being a 5. So everything that you've heard about 5-12s, you tell me if it's right. So last year, 5s went 2-2. 2023, 5s went 4-0.
Wow. Unprecedented times.
2022, 5s and 12s went 2-2. 2021, 5s went 3-1. 2019, 5s went 1-3 in those games. So over the last 10 tournaments, 5s are 26-14. It is not as 50-50 as you're led to believe. And since 2009, 5 seeds are 36-24 straight up in the 12 games. So that's 2 out of every 3 basically that goes to the 5 seeds. So, you can pick your one. You're probably going to get one unless it's 2023 where all the 5s end up winning. It might not be as messy as you would have thought. Now, the thing about it is the 12s are always really, pretty interesting, usually mid-major type of teams who have won a boatload of games. McNeese State is a 12 against Clemson this year. Liberty against Oregon. Memphis and Colorado State. And then the other one is Michigan and UC San Diego. You could probably convince yourself that any 4 of those could happen.
I can and have, Connor.
Really, Josh? Have you filled one out to this point? Are you locked and loaded?
I am not locked and loaded. I filled out I guess a practice one just to kind of like, okay.
A brack?
Yeah. Did I do anything stupid? Did I have like St. Mary's in the national championship game or something?
And did you?
I did not.
Okay. That's good. So how often does your rough draft translate to the final copy?
We'll probably make a couple of first round tweaks and call it good.
I'm still sitting here with an empty bracket.
Empty?
Nothing.
It's Tuesday.
I know.
You got no idea. Who's your Cinderella? You don't know.
I just have to sit down and I have to rip it one time.
Yep.
That's it. I think about it once. I set the bracket over to the side. I don't really root for my bracket. I don't really enter them in any competitions or anything like that. I do it for the love of the game.
I like that about you.
I'm like the opposite of Adam Sandler in that regard.
You're not trying to win a rocket to Mars or whatever.
I'm not trying
Elon's giving away.
I'm not trying to make any money off of this thing. I just like ball.
Just like ball.
I just like ball.
Interesting.
He's not making movies just because he likes movies.
No, I don't think so.
He likes money. Who could blame him?
Those gym shorts may look like they cost $12, but I'll bet they cost a lot more.
No, that's actually not true. Those gym shorts definitely cost $12. All right. We'll be back. Allan Bell will join us on the other side. We'll ask him about the tournament and plenty more here in the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money. Money, 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 money.
Allan Bell, the AB3, on the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
All right, we're joined now on the hotline by Allan Bell of Driving the Line. Busy week for Allan and the crew over there, picking through numbers and stats and learning about every college basketball team that's worth a damn in America. Allan, hello. How are you?
Hello, sir. Doing fantastic. You doing all right?
I'm good. Before we get into the tournament here, I do have a question for you based on something we were talking about earlier in the show. So, I assume you saw the video of Tracy Morgan puking courtside last night at the Knicks game?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Yes.
Where is the most famous place you have puked?
Ooh, that's a good question. Nowhere famous, but it's always weird, and it's in a spot where, like, you can't do anything about it, right? Movie theater. All right? Like, just, out of nowhere, and at the beginning of the movie as well.
Ugh.
So, like, you're just stuck. You know what I mean? And it's like, all right, well, we just had to use this popcorn bucket. I can't really just get up and, hey, excuse me. Yeah, I know. Like, that's my luck. It's never anywhere famous. It's actually work. Like, I could deal with people seeing it. You know what I mean? Like, if it were, like, on TV, you're like, oh, ha, 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 whatever. But no, it's the ones where, like, you have to sit with it and deal with it for a while.
Oh, that's possibly worse than doing it on national television in front of everybody.
I can deal with the embarrassment for like 5 minutes, but it's when you're like, oh no, like, oh, this is just going to be bad. Like,
Josh had basically a combination of those two when he puked one day when we were on the air. So he sits there and he's on camera and you could see it on his face and he sort of wobbles around a little bit. He's thinking, do I really have to go do this right now? And by the time he made a decision, he had to use the trash can right next to the desk here in the studio, and that was it.
Yeah, which is like, athletic, adaptable, like, did what he had to do, right? But the tough part about it is that afterward, dude, the confidence in your head, you're like, is this going to happen again? Like, I don't know what is going on because you just kind of do it so infrequently.
Yeah,
but it's like, oh, I don't know what's about to happen now,
And there's a lot of times where you get that, not to talk about puke too much here, but like there's a lot of times where you get the sensation or like the starts of the sensation, but then it passes and you're like, this will be nothing. I've worked my way through this a million times. And then when it advances to that next step, by that time it's too late. You have no time to make any more decisions. It's just over.
None. You should have gone to the bullpen as soon as you saw trouble. Like, that's it's brutal, man.
Yep. Have a short leash when it comes to puking. That's for sure. All right, bracket in hand, Allan. What are we looking at? What do we like? Even in the first four, which starts, of course, tonight.
Yeah. So tonight, looking at the games, right? Like, you've got the dichotomy of both games is pretty fascinating. Like, you've got St. Francis, who is a point-scoring team, going up against an Alabama State team who is very much not, right? Like, they are very much the opposite of that. So you got to really, like, I think St. Francis, I don't know where the line sits at this very second. The last I saw,
3.5. 3.5 for Alabama State. Yep.
I was going to say, yeah, right? Like, it was jumping between 4.5 and 3.5. I think St. Francis plus 3.5 is not a bad play. But then you look at, like, North Carolina and San Diego State, kind of the same deal. Now, North Carolina, okay, perfect segue from what we were talking about earlier. All right, is our confidence in North Carolina, who has covered 8 of the last 9 spreads, like, are we feeling it? Or is it after we just had to yank into a trash can and it's like, I don't know what's going on here, right? Like, because San Diego State is absolutely a defensive style of team, right?
Yeah.
Lower scoring. Yeah, right? Like, but North Carolina, the last 10, they've looked pretty good. But that could get erased quickly, right? Like, what about you guys? Like, how do you feel just on those 2 games tonight?
Okay, yeah, I'm glad, yeah. So
yeah.
I think on the 16 seed game, this is anecdotally, I just feel like all those games end up in the high 50s and low 60s. And so it's probably going to be close and low scoring and a grind at the end. And there's going to be, the fouls will ultimately push the number up a little bit. But I see 138.5 and I say that feels high. But that's just off the face.
I agree.
Yeah. And then in the North Carolina game, North Carolina's been the subject of all the conversation this week because of how they actually got in the NCAA tournament. And my natural inclination with a team like that is to pick them to win and cover. But I don't know, San Diego State has been such a good team in this tournament over the last several years. They play the way they play. It's hard, but I would imagine I still lean toward North Carolina to win and cover tonight in the game.
I do too. Right. And you look at, I think is it still 4.5 for North Carolina?
Yep.
As the favorite. Yeah. Like I look at, okay, maybe this is a time to take like North Carolina money line in like a parlay with something else. Like you've got Major League Baseball overnight, right? Like you could take the Dodgers money line and you could take North Carolina money line.
Ooh.
All right. And it's like +1, like 40, somewhere around there. Right. So, again, you're banking on baseball in Japan. Right. And, going off of that, but you could find another dance partner, but like getting after, like, I think North Carolina beats San Diego State. Like, I think that they beat them. Do I feel great with the 4.5? I don't know. You know what I mean? Like North Carolina winning by 12 would not surprise me in the slightest, but North Carolina winning by 1 wouldn't surprise me either. You know what I mean? So I think it's like you said in the first game, like taking an under there makes sense. Taking North Carolina and just getting them money line to win the game. Right. I think that's probably your best play.
Okay. So I'm going to ask you about a specific game and the one of them that matters to us here in Omaha. It's the first game of the day on Thursday, the day the NCAA tournament really starts. Creighton is a 9 seed and they're a 2.5-point underdog against Louisville. And Louisville has got a lot of conversation this week because they are underseeded by a couple lines. Creighton is, they have very similar resumes, to be quite honest with you. Creighton's coming off of a second place finish in their conference and losing in the championship game. Same thing with Louisville, second place in their conference, lost in the championship game. But as you look at teams more generally who come in and they have been slighted a little bit by the committee, and then they have a tough matchup in the first game, how do you sort of pull that all apart? Or is it just specifically about this game living in kind of a vacuum?
Yeah, you bring up a good point. Like, I feel like it always plays out that way. Like that team that feels like it got slighted, like they come out and look terrible.
Right. Because they have hard. Everything is matchups. Not to be too cliche, but it's definitely the case.
Yeah, and look, man, like Louisville's a scrappy team. They're very undersized. Like we've got to give credit to Pat Kelsey what he's done with his team. He was left with nothing. Absolutely nothing. But I do feel Creighton in this game. I really do. Like, I like what you just said about teams that feel like, that they were, quote, kind of screwed over, right? It doesn't play well for them. And I think that Louisville might have used its juice during the ACC tournament. And again, not like this is going to be some sort of easy game or anything like that. But I just feel like Creighton is a team that's sitting there saying, oh, we've played in this game before. You know what I mean? Like, and especially, what is it? +2.5?
2.5.
Creighton?
Yep.
Yeah. Like, I would take Creighton +2.5 all day long. I think that this is a quiet team that's kind of been here before. And Louisville, even though it's been a great season for them, I just don't feel it, man. Like, I'm just with Creighton here. I think that they could put just too much pressure that could kind of crack that egg.
You watch a lot of SEC basketball, Allan, and that's where our a lot of our top 10 teams in this tournament happen to be. Auburn, the number 1 overall seed, who gets the winner of that Louisville Creighton game. Florida's a 1 seed. Duke and Houston are the other 2 1 seeds, and then you have Tennessee on the 2 line. You have Alabama on the 2 line. So a lot of those teams are going to be expected to be there on the second weekend. Is there one of them that I just mentioned, or maybe outside of, on the outside of that you could see not making it to weekend number 2, given that you've watched them all over the last couple weeks here?
Yeah, Tennessee. Honestly, man, look, Tennessee has a really high ceiling, and when they play good basketball, they're very difficult to beat because they can play defense. That's what Rick Barnes does. But man, I'm telling you, this team and anybody that's watched Tennessee throughout this year, when they can't make shots, this team is bad. Very bad, man. Look, Auburn's not playing great. They've lost 3 of their last 4 games, but you just look at the draw. I think the left side of the bracket has a much better, chalk opportunity than kind of the right side, if that makes sense, right? I could see Tennessee winning game 1 and being out in game 2, if that kind of aligns. Now, again, Tennessee could go out and make it to an Elite 8. It wouldn't surprise me because, again, they could play great defense. But, man, this team is Jekyll and Hyde, dude, and that does not play well in the tournament. And it's not like Rick Barnes has a great history in the tournament, too. Alabama is not a great team all around, but they can just score so many points.
And people love that. In March, Allan, people really, really dive into the analytics and stuff and historically what has won. And one of the things that people really love to see is, consistent offense and guard play. Tempo, I think, factors into that equation too. Alabama is the number 1 tempo team in the country. That is a team that I would imagine all the analytics nerds are going to be like, yes, yes, yes. They're going to make a really deep run in this thing. But just they're really good. So we're splitting hairs here. But I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if they slipped up or if somebody got them earlier than they're supposed to.
Oh, agreed. Because they have flaws. They just score a lot of points. You have to be a specific style of team to play in that game. But they have a lot of flaws for sure. Florida is legit. Auburn is legit. Duke is legit. Obviously we're waiting on Cooper Flag, but and Houston's the interesting team too because they could completely choke you out of a game, and they don't even need to score more than 64. But answer that question about the SEC. Tennessee would be the team to worry about. I'll tell you a fun game. Vanderbilt and St. Mary's is going to be an awesome basketball game because Vanderbilt is very small, and all they do is just press it, man, back and forth because they know they can't get in that slow down 2-3 zone. They're not going to beat you in the paint. They're not big enough. So they just run and gun, dude. That game is going to be an awesomely fun game to watch. That's an over game for sure.
Okay, I like that.
Blast to watch.
Winner gets Alabama in that little pod there. Allan, baseball started this morning. I saw you had some dinger bets. I haven't even checked how this game actually went down. Did anybody hit a home run this morning?
No one did. It was 4-1. The Dodgers won. The Cubs had 3 hits. It's just why did we send the Cubs over here? Come on, man. No, man. He had obviously an awesome pitching matchup. And we're gonna have a decent one, at 6:10 a.m. Eastern again. So we got Major League Baseball overnight. Ohtani showed out though. Had him, I think, 2 hits, scored 2 runs. He looked good. Teoscar Hernandez looked good. The Dodgers and this is without Mookie Betts, man. So the Cubs didn't exactly bring excitement to it, but the Dodgers sure did.
Any takes on the Happy Gilmore 2 trailer?
I'm worried. It is tough. It's tough to beat a classic, man.
Hey, you're not going to beat it. That's for sure.
No, you're not. But you know what? I think we're all looking for just a little bit of nostalgia. And it also helps that movies for the last 5 years are horrific. So it's not like the bar is set very high.
That's a good point.
I think if anywhere time to do it, I think now's the time to
All right, AB. By the way, what's your setup here for this weekend? What's the TV situation look like for the best one of the best 2 days of sports all year long?
It's great. I love using the direct TV where you've got the multiple, the picture in picture is the greatest thing ever. And I don't know why we're trying to get rid of it. But we've got that, and then we've got 2 laptops set up. I mean, we get to watch all the action. That's the fun part.
Excellent. Cannot wait. AB, appreciate you as always. Enjoy the week and the weekend, and we'll talk to you next week.
You guys too, man. Appreciate it, buddy. Thank you.
Allan Bell, you can check him out driving the line. Twitter at Allan G. Bell. Be throwing out picks all day. Dinger bets are back. Nerfies are back. Folks, baseball. Allan's already used to it. He's been on college baseball all year long.
He's yelling at the gambling sites to be quicker with their college baseball betting information. It's like 90 minutes to first pitch, and they don't have the game up yet.
Like if you're a professional, if you do this for a living, which Allan does, like, and your goal now, his goal is not necessarily to like make money. It's to just provide the correct analysis for people to be able to do that. And he can't do that without the lines. But if you're in this for yourself and your only goal is to make money, you probably don't mind the fact that the books don't seem to be very in tune with what's going on with college baseball right now. You could take advantage of them. One of the very few places you could take advantage of them because they're just not on top of it at the moment. I think we got a couple people in our listening audience who may be able to speak to that. Bunch of sickos out there.
That one Alabama coach who got fired loves our show.
He could definitely speak to that. All right, we'll be back. Josh has the odd news when we return in the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
And now we've reached the point in the show where Josh Odson reads the peculiar, the bizarre, the comical, the odd news with Odd Son. Odd news, Odd Son. See what we did there? The Odd News with Oddson.
All right, time for the odd news. Josh, what do we got today?
Oh, we've got 2 idiots and a truck spill.
Okay, love it.
Yeah, we begin in Georgia, where a man opened the rear door of a police car, climbed in, and told the police at the wheel he wanted a ride home, according to an arrest affidavit. Around 10 o'clock Friday night.
He got arrested?
He did. Andrew Davison, 31 years young, allegedly entered the vehicle and shut the door while there was a human being, this is oddly written, Officer Thomas, in the conveyance.
What? It sounds like AI.
There's a cop in the car.
This is written by AI.
Just say there was a cop in the car. The conveyance in question was stationed on a St. Petersburg, Florida street, and the cruiser's emergency lights were flashing. The defendant stated he wanted a ride home, according to a complaint.
I need to go home.
Davison lives.
I need coffee, so I can drive home.
Statesboro, a city.
What movie? Do you know, Josh?
Oh no, it's not coming to me.
Zach and Mary make a porno.
Yes.
The one guy they're doing what the title of the movie says they're doing. He walks into the coffee shop and he's hammered. He's coming from the Steelers game. He goes, "Hey,
what coffee? Get me home." Yep.
Roethlisberger, quarterback. Huck it, chuck it, football all night. One of my favorite lines in a movie ever. One of my favorite lines ever delivered.
I like that movie. Davison lives in Statesboro, a city about 55 miles from Savannah. Court records do not indicate what the man was doing in St. Petersburg or where he was staying.
He was on spring break or something like that.
The officer noted that the accused man, and this may shock a lot of you, had an indication of alcohol influence. The quotes from this officer are wildly out of date. This is not how people talk.
This is AI. This is written by AI.
But it's in quotes. That means the officer said it.
Somebody fed the quotes to AI.
Okay. Entirely possible.
What's going on with my StreamYard is slow today.
It's lovely internet here at Energy Media.
Energy. Do I look wobbly to you?
You look like you are going to star in the 8-bit reboot of Super Mario Brothers.
Nice. People couldn't even see clearly my impression of that guy from that movie.
Nope.
Huck it, chuck it, football.
We go to Utah for the truck spill of the week.
Roethlisberger.
Right lane of southbound I-15 closed Monday night after a semi-truck leaked several gallons of what? Connor?
Leaked several gallons. I-15, where is this again?
This is in Utah, near South Jordan, Utah. Not really sure where that is.
Does the location give me any hint?
It does not.
Orange juice.
No. Think Zoolander.
Think Zoolander.
Yeah.
I don't know. What is a liquid used in Zoolander?
Gasoline.
Oh, yes. You know what? People think of that movie and they think about that scene with the gasoline fight. That's like 5th or 6th down my list.
It keeps getting referenced, so I have trouble forgetting it. But yes.
Is it really a truck spill if it's leaking gas? Like this is too normal.
It is a little more normal than the other trucks.
A gas truck leaked gasoline today in Utah. Thanks for the story, Josh.
Well,
you get what you get.
I'm at the mercy of the news cycle.
You saw truck leak and immediately copied and pasted it into the segment.
I didn't find anything else, and I Googled truck spill, and that's what came up. Because a guy sitting across from Matt Schick handing the media tissues for North Carolina getting in the tournament just didn't seem funny enough to me.
Huh. I don't know about that story either.
Well, the show that Matt Schick hosts for ACC Network.
Was it like a bracket show?
I think it's like a daily ACC talk show.
Okay.
He pulled tissues out of a tissue box and was like, "Here, this is for Pat McAfee. This is for the people."
So they were ACC homering it.
Yeah. But Matt Schick was in the shot.
Way to go, Matt.
We end in Florida, where cops say, "Oh my gosh, what is happening to you, Connor?" Cops.
I don't know. My thing does not work today.
Everything works here. I don't know what you're talking about.
It might not even be. It might be my fault. I have no idea. Do you think the temperature in the room has anything to do with this?
Might be too hot to function in here.
Yeah, it's hot. It's hot.
Well, the heat's still on for the winter tomorrow. Cops in Florida say a man stole an ambulance and led law enforcement on a wild car chase through the streets of Tampa, finishing a can of beer before being dragged out of the driver's seat and thrown in handcuffs.
Oh, God! Where am I? Erlon says, as a network engineer, I take offense to people blaming the network. I can hear you just fine. No choppy audio, so it's something with the computer. PC guys, get on it. No, I fully recognize that this could be a me thing. I just don't know what it is. My apologies, Josh. Continue on with your lovely story.
Get the hamster back on the wheel. TMZ obtained dash cam footage from Saturday's police pursuit, and it shows Florida Highway Patrol troopers pursuing the ambulance as the emergency vehicle runs stop signs, swerves through traffic, drives on the wrong side of the road, and nearly crashes into motorists. When the driver finally pulls over, you see him down a canned drink that police say was beer before officers open the door and throw him to the ground. We're told the pursuit started at 8:40 Saturday night, a little early for things to be getting crazy in the streets of Tampa. And Florida Highway Patrol says they got an alert about a stolen ambulance. They found the ambulance 10 minutes after the call came in and attempted a traffic stop where the driver then fled. 43-year-old Tampa resident Michael Esquilin was the driver, and he was arrested on charges of burglary of an emergency vehicle, grand theft of an emergency vehicle, fleeing and eluding, driving with a suspended license, resisting arrest, and DUI.
It's always the DUI.
Cops say the man told officers he had been drinking alcohol for the previous 2 days and stole the ambulance after first responders denied him a ride home.
Sure.
You got to just take the ride home like that one guy in the first
Yeah,
story.
I was going to say, is this just a continuance of the same story from the first guy?
A continuance of the conveyance.
Of the conveyance, that's right.
That's right.
All right, so we're going to take a break here, and I'm going to restart my computer and see what happens.
You'll turn it off, turn it back on.
Yep, we'll see. We'll see if that goes. Also, I need to mention that we need to have these working. We need to have the stream working cleanly today because of what we have planned.
1 o'clock.
1 o'clock with the Outrunners, who are right now at the Mavs send-off.
Send-off. It's going down.
They are high-fiving with Gary.
That's true.
Chris in South Carolina says
Chris.
on the text line, it is hilarious watching Connor as he goes from frozen screen to frozen screen.
They're different every time, and I like that.
It's more frustrating than funny to me.
Sure.
We're going to try and fix it. But the noon hour is coming up. Who would you rather be? Coach Prime or Matt Rule?
Ooh, an age-old question.
Back after this on 1620 The Zone.
He gives you the latest sports news, interviews, and life-changing commentary with a smile on his face. Because he wears those ticklish underpants.
Let's get back to the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
Creighton's Ryan Kalkbrenner.
Tree Man.
Yeah, Kalkbrenner. Whatever his name is. Welcome to New York, Creighton. Kalkbrenner, whatever. He's been honored by the Associated Press. Third team.
The AP?
Yes, the AP. Those of the poll. They are honoring Ryan with a third team All-America honors. First team All-Americans, Cooper Flagg, Janai Broom, Braden Smith, Mark Sears, Walter Clayton. Second team, JT Toppin, Cam Jones, John Tunjay, PJ Haggerty, and RJ Lewis. Third team, Ryan Kalkbrenner, Zakai Ziegler, Eric Dixon, LJ Cryer, Hunter Dickinson. That would be a hilarious team. That would be an awesome team, actually. You don't have would Dixon play so you have Dickinson and Dixon.
Careful.
Would Eric Dixon play the wing in that scenario? And then some poor guy would have to go guard him out there all the time or something like that. He would just back him down the entire, because you have Kalkbrenner and Hunter Dickinson just sitting underneath the basket, kind of just standing there a little bit. Be a fun team.
Seems like a bit much.
Zakai Ziegler running around, chasing people around. It's a great defensive team. I'll tell you that. Honorable mention. Alphabetical order. Nick Clifford, Donovan Dent, Dylan Harper, Chucky Hepburn, Trey Johnson, Curtis Jones, Trey Kaufman-Wren, Chaz Lanier, Derek Queen, Max Reynaud, Javon Small, Bennett Sturts. Good to see Bennett Sturts get some love. Look at that. Northwest Missouri State stand up. Where will Ben McCollum be the coach next year?
That's a good question.
Could be
TikTok on that Drake job.
Enjoy
him while you have him.
It could be in a lot of different places. A lot of places. I mean, it'll only be in one place, but it could be in a lot of places.
Depends on the dominoes.
Does depend on the dominoes. And is he somebody's first choice? And whose first choice is he? All right. Jacob Bigelow is going to come up at the bottom of the hour. He will join us in studio. Thanks, Jacob, for coming in.
Pleasant.
And then the Outrunners will be with us at 1:00, and we will we'll learn a lot about each other.
Make a new friend.
We'll make a new friend. Josh, you will have questions. Will you ask them?
I can.
I want you to.
Okay.
You actually, one of the weirdest things that we do on this show is have random wrestling people on. And it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out why we have random wrestlers on. In this case, it's a little bit different.
Yeah.
Josh likes wrestling.
I do.
And Josh knows wrestling. He knows ball. I don't. So I have to pack all this knowledge into one prep sheet, to get ready to interview these guys one time and then go from there. Josh, you have something that we like to call institutional knowledge when it comes to wrestlers.
I do.
I think that you should ask questions.
Then I will.
I figured you might be interested in doing so. All right. Coach Prime.
Coach Prime.
Yeah, what's going on with Coach Prime? Well, it's the off season and he has a take. Colorado coach Deion Sanders wants the NCAA to consider barring from the NFL model and allow programs to practice and scrimmage against each other during the spring. Quote, I would actually like to play the spring game against another team. I'm sure he was asked the question, hello, coach, would you like to cancel your spring game as well? And he said, not only do I think that's a horrible idea, but I want to go so far the other direction that it will be unrecognizable. So he says, I'd like to play the spring game against another team. That's what I'm trying to do right now. Apparently, Syracuse has shown interest in doing so.
Their coach begged for it on Twitter.
Sanders said, quote, I would like to style it like the pros. I like to go against someone in practice for a few days. Then you have a spring game. I think the public would be satisfied with that tremendously. I think it's a tremendous idea. I've told those personnel who should understand that it's a tremendous idea. Deion Sanders, lover of his own ideas. It didn't take long for Sanders to find an interested party. In fact, Syracuse head coach Fran Brown on Monday posted to the social media platform X, formerly Twitter, offering the Orange to, quote, come to Boulder for 3 days. Brown said, period, at Deion Sanders, we will come to Boulder for 3 days. Bullseye emoji, orange emoji, high five or prayer emoji, whichever way you'd like to look at that.
Period at, so he wanted everyone to see it.
That's right. That's how you do that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you're anybody out there is trying to get more people to see your tweet, don't just tweet at the person, then only that people and their followers will see that. So, yet again, here we have Matt Rule, and here we have Deion Sanders. Matt Rule says, no spring game. Tampering is the worst. We want to be as private as we could possibly be. Deion Sanders says, that is a stupid idea. Not only do I want to play a spring game, I want to play against another team who could get a scouting report on me. And it sounds like he wants to put it on television. He said it'd be good for the fans, right?
Sure.
Get fans to show up.
Well, Syracuse fans need a way to watch this, so
I'm sure Syracuse fans would watch it. Definitely.
Yeah. Mike Tirico and end of list.
So, who more closely models what you want for the spring game? 402-951-6820. Sound off now in the comments. Deion, this was always the way I thought spring games were going. I did too. I thought we were barreling down the path of here's what's going to happen. They're going to play other teams for spring games. They're going to sell out the stadium. This will eventually lead to like a whole spring season, where they sell tickets to it and stuff like that. And
I mean, everything's becoming the NFL model, right? And this is a natural kind of progression of that.
We were absolutely rolling down the hill toward that. And then I don't know if Matt Rule I guess he did. Matt Rule started it. He said, no, I don't think I want to do spring games anymore.
Let's kill it.
We're not going to do the spring games because, people kept calling our players afterwards. And I mean, I think as we get further and further away from that announcement and closer to the actual spring game, it becomes abundantly clear that, yes, tampering, whatever was a part of that. I'm sure that actually happened, but also
guys blowing out their knees.
Well, not just the fear of people getting hurt, but what you have. I mean, did you hear the list that Matt Rule said out loud of all the people that were injured?
Could not field an offensive line. It would have to be like no blitz.
No, you could field an offensive line. It would just suck. It would be horrible. It wouldn't be good. So, yeah. They've gone the other way. Nebraska's gone the other way. And we've seen teams, we've seen teams follow Nebraska a little bit. In fact, I think I just saw one. What was it? Michigan State? Yes, Michigan State will not hold a spring game this year. Jonathan Smith has announced.
So is one of these going to become like the way to do things? Or are we going to
I think we
have both for a little bit?
My personal opinion is I think and this is one of the things with Nebraska and frankly Nebraska fans. I think we do this all the time. For whatever reason, we take this great pride in being a trendsetter. Like, what does it matter if you've done it first? And then everyone who gives a rip who did it first?
Also,
why does everything have to be one thing or the other? I never got that. I don't give a damn if Matt Rule decided to cancel his spring game first. All I care about is the result of what he decided to do with it. I'm not giving him extra points for doing it first. That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Why would I do that? Who cares if he canceled his spring game first? Why would I care about that?
Competing narratives in Nebraska Huskers fans' heads right now because, we get credit for being first to do this, but also, oh my gosh, do we take great pride in being the highest attended spring game.
And we love our spring game. We love our spring game.
It's us and Ohio State, the only two schools that care about spring game attendance.
If we're being honest with you, like, and to be clear, I don't care really one way or the other. It doesn't affect me that much, but I'd rather go Deion's way.
I mean, that's rather probably better for everyone, right? It's better for the team. You get better.
I think
it's better for the fans.
The problem is that it becomes, especially at a place like Nebraska, like it becomes something. It becomes a thing, and we overreact. But we were going to overreact to the spring game anyway. Maybe that's a part of why Rule canceled Nebraska's spring game, just because I don't want to deal with all this crap. Just because a guy drops a pass in the spring game doesn't mean he's the worst player of all time. You guys should see practice. You know? So maybe that's a part of the conversation too. Now, a reminder here that under current NCAA bylaws, football teams cannot play against another school in the spring. But as we know,
the NCAA is a construct.
You got it. Rules can change these days, Josh. Rules can change.
Now, what do we do as the media when inevitably, let's just use Colorado and Syracuse as an example, they get into a knockdown, drag-out, helmet-swinging brawl because that's what happens at these NFL mini practices from time to time. What do we as the media do? Will we be cool with it because these things happen? I doubt it.
How do we do with that in the NFL? Are we cool with it in the NFL?
I think so.
Yeah.
Like, these things happen. But let me tell you, Deion Sanders' Colorado football team cannot get into a knockdown, drag-out, helmet-swinging brawl.
Wouldn't be great.
Stephen A. Smith will live for another generation.
Would not be great for the discourse. For the discourse. Sanders said, quote, "The way the trend is going is you never know if this season is going to be the last spring game. Now, I don't believe in that, and I don't really want to condone that. To have it competitive and to play against your own guys, it can get kind of monotonous, and you really can't tell the level of your guys. Everyone's moving to stop spring games. I don't know why," Sanders said. "You're not going to stop nobody from leaving your program by not having a spring game. If you want to save money, just say that. It's definitely not that. The kid's already gone. They already reached out and contacted somebody else. They're already gone." Except for the one line that is just like factually incorrect in there. It's not about saving money. In fact, Nebraska stands to lose, frankly, a lot of money by not having a spring game. But as far as NIL and the portal and stuff like that, handshake meme Deion Sanders. I don't know why. I don't know. I'm not mad about it. Don't put it on the internet that I'm mad. Once again, I don't really care that much, but I don't know why. And I know what they're telling us as to why, and I understand the reasoning, I guess, as to why, but it doesn't fully make sense to me. Once again, I don't care. Don't put it on the internet that I care. Matt Rhule wants to cancel a spring game, you go right ahead. That's fine. But I don't really get it. Deion Sanders wants to, play somebody else for his spring game. I thought that was the way we were always headed. I thought that was the way that this thing was going. Josh, you're stewing over there. What's going on? Did you get an email?
No, we've received a very funny tweet from Sam.
A very funny tweet from Sam.
I tried to not laugh at it.
Well, I can see only your mouth through the slit of the two computers.
I know.
Oh, there's a picture.
Yep, it's a picture.
Josh hits too close to home from you. You can recuse yourself from this conversation.
Thank you.
You're forgetting about the corner of the fan base who will never want to do a spring scrimmage because they're negatively polarized against Dion. Yeah, like so what happens here is this becomes it's another national college football topic that sees Matt Rule on one side and Deion Sanders on the other side. 2 years ago, it was roster construction and not kicking guys out of the program and whatever. And meanwhile, everybody's going to have to kick a lot of people out of the program this summer. You know how many defensive backs Nebraska has? 1 billion. They can't have 1 billion. You can't have 1 billion when you are. I mean, they're going to have to kick some people out, right? Some people are going to have to go. And that's not Matt Rule's fault. That's a rules thing. Rules, R-U-L-E-S, right. But I hope that we could just see it for what it is. Like, once again, you don't have to be mad that they're having or not having a spring game. That's not what I'm saying here. I don't mind it that Deion Sanders is going the other way. And frankly, if there was a side that I think college football is going to be more likely to adopt, if we're talking about trendsetters or whatever, I think it's that one. I don't know why stuff seems to happen and then everybody else seems to fall kind of in line and everybody, all of a sudden, Matt Rule cancels a spring game and then a whole bunch of spring games get canceled. I don't know why that happens that way, but it always seems to do so. But once again, I don't care. I'm not giving extra credit to Matt Rule for doing it first. That doesn't matter to me. And I don't think it should matter to you. I don't understand why that's important to people.
Look, they're going to get their attendance for the garage sale and the volleyball and the flag football and the soccer. I don't want to leave out the soccer. So Nebraska's in a unique place where they're fine. Colorado could probably make some money off of this idea. Now, Nebraska
couldn't?
Doesn't need money. Oh, wait.
Apparently not, or do they? I don't know. They keep saying that they are canceling things due to like a whole Tennessee series, due to needing to add more revenue for a home game. So where's the lie?
Please, sir, could I have some more?
Spot the lie. I don't really get it, but here we are. It is once again heading into summer of 2025, and yet again, Matt Rule and Deion Sanders are diametrically opposed to one another. I figured this stuff would go away because they're not on the schedule this year, but the rivalry remains strong.
Destined to fight forever.
No Shador, no Travis Hunter, but still bickering. Even though they're not bickering at each other, they're both saying opposite things into the air that are credited to them.
Can't wait for Joel Klatt to pick up on this and really run with it.
Josh.
Connor.
I got a Pete tweet. West Virginia coach Darren DeVries is
friend of the show.
Is a candidate for the Iowa job. Not.
Oh, not?
That's what Pete tweet says.
Did he really do the Borat not?
No.
That would be incredible.
But I read it that way because I remember not jokes. West Virginia coach Darren DeVries is not a candidate for the Iowa job. Hello. He is a candidate for the Iowa job, not.
So they have a guy
This suit is black, not.
They have a guy in mind. And it is not Darren DeVries.
Oh,
is
unless
it's a lot. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Unless he got a different offer and he was then off the table.
Darren is not available to take the Iowa got there too late.
There's a lot of possibilities here. A lot of possibilities.
Wow.
So
what does it mean?
Well, I mean, I'll tell you what, like that was supposed to be, people had his name pegged on that job for a long time. Yeah. And it worked out for timing. Fran got fired at the exact perfect time. I mean, maybe not exact perfect because
maybe last year would have been
he's only in his first year at West Virginia. Right. But you get to bring Tucker with you.
Mm-hmm.
Tucker DeVries,
Tucker's
who
seen the
hasn't played a
world at this
basketball
point.
game since before Christmas, and somehow still gets referenced on the NCAA selection show when West Virginia is the first team left out of the tournament. Doesn't matter.
And correct me if West Virginia's not playing anywhere, right?
I think they canceled themselves.
They declined all postseason invites, right?
I believe that is correct.
So theoretically, that will be the first domino to fall. Wherever it may fall, is Darren leaving, and or huge raise.
Yeah, I don't know. This is fascinating. I can't wait to see how this plays out. And it's a perfect time to bring in our next guest in a minute, Jacob Bigelow. And we'll join the show, Mr. Carousel himself. But not before we get to a text from Greg in Myrtle Beach. I was wondering where Greg was on this conversation.
I got a feeling I know where he's going to go, but please let Greg speak.
Rest assured that Matt Rule, middle school Rule,
is.
will never hesitate to back down from a challenge like the Tennessee series.
It's the exact angle I thought he was going to take.
Blowhard,
chef's kiss.
Tough guy frauds avoid being exposed at all costs. Josh Heupel would have hung 50 on us twice. Sorry for the accent, Greg. I had to do it.
I mean, Nebraska could be the best team in the world.
Ah, what happened to my screen again?
Oh, it's been doing it the whole segment. There was one point where it was like blood red.
No.
You need to go back and screenshot that. That was hilarious.
All right, I will. Sad. The middle school Rule bit is actually fantastic.
I love it. I like Matt Rule. I really want it to work, but if it doesn't, we've got something for it.
This is a big season for Nebraska football. They need to win some freaking games and stop doing all this other crap. What are you waving at?
The camera. I'm the only one on the camera.
Perfect. We'll get to work on that one during the break. There we go. We can just do this camera for the rest of the show, I suppose.
It's going to be better for the Outrunners and Jacob anyway.
Thank you for watching along with us on YouTube. It's always a great experience over there. And I'll take part responsibility for this because I don't really know what
Hey, who was that guy earlier in the chat that works at he's a TV camera or engineer or whatever?
Oh, yeah. Somebody was defending the network.
What? No. And that's, can we hire that person to run our video stream?
That would be awesome. If we had like we had like a switchboard and like a director.
Yeah.
They could change camera angles and stuff like that. We would probably need some better equipment.
Really up the production value of this thing.
That would be fantastic.
Make people want to watch it.
I love our YouTube audience.
I do too.
It's a lot of fun. And I enjoy putting the visual elements together for the show. We all host and produce TV shows now. They just sound like radio shows or podcasts.
Like this one. I love doing this.
Exactly. This is fantastic. There he is. Middle school Rule, hanging out with all his middle school friends. All right. Black Cat says it's like Thursday and Friday all over again. Hashtag JoshCam. Josh, how lonely? We never talked about this. How lonely was that?
It's a bit of a grind.
Yeah.
I mean, luckily I talk to myself in my free time, so didn't really bother me to do it in this room.
You're out there on an island. How pregnant were the pauses? 8 months?
The drinks of water were...
You need those.
Yeah.
The segments are long. All right, Jacob Bigelow is going to join us on the other side. But first, a message from the Zone Deal this week. It is to Backlot Pizza and Kitchen, located at 204th and Q Street. That is inside the ACX Cinema 12. Josh, specializing in Detroit-style pizza, they offer a variety of smash burgers, shareable appetizers, and more. The cocktail menu is fantastic. We were out there a couple years ago for our Cocaine Bear watch party. It was fantastic food, drink, and beyond.
Yes.
Listen to John and Josh for Unsportsmanlike Conduct this week for your chance to win $50 worth of gift vouchers, or you could get the half-off Zone Deal on Friday at 9, 1620thezone.com.
That's the country song, right? Remember when?
Thank you.
Jacob Bigelow.
Yeah. Whenever my open is concocted, throw that in there.
He's on fire!
Jacob Bigelow, Huskers Illustrated, on the Connor Happer Show, on 1620, The Zone.
Boom shakalaka!
All right, here we go. Let's have a chat with Jacob Bigelow of Huskers Illustrated, the Stretch Big Pod, many other things. He joins us now in studio.
Surprise.
There he is. So tomorrow he's going to be hosting with young Matt for 4 hours. So this is a little, he wanted to come out. You know, you're like me. Like to take a look around, check out which direction I'm facing, where I need to go. That was me at MSG this weekend. That is you here now.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I needed the good advanced scout, to prepare myself. It's that time of year. You got to, be prepared as you can. And I just wanted to get the advanced scout. And it turns out I picked a pretty good time to pop in with what's going on in the world of college basketball right now. And this worked out fine. This worked out well.
As a true basketball sicko, you've just taken the week off. You've said, I will not be working this week, which is a great deal for you.
No, and it was it planned multiple months ago with the thought of a certain basketball team playing this week that isn't playing this week, and instead they'll be playing at College Basketball Firefest here in a couple weeks, and people are gonna have to pretend to be enthused by that, maybe. But it all worked out. I may be headed to an undisclosed location tomorrow to watch some games up close. So it worked out. It worked out fine.
Okay. Whoa, undisclosed. Where's their games tomorrow?
Oh, well, I'm leaving tomorrow.
Okay.
I'm leaving tomorrow.
Going to Wichita? Lexington? Providence?
Don't you read this man's tweets? Come on.
No, I didn't see any of his tweets. I'm sorry. Hold on.
Think about my network.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, where are they at?
West. Way west.
Seattle?
Correct.
You're going to Seattle tomorrow?
Correct.
What? So you're going to do the show with Matt, and then you're going to get on a plane and go to Seattle?
Correct.
Nice.
Correct.
Seattle this time of year, is it nice? Have you checked out the weather?
It looks decent. I was born in the Pacific Northwest, and I haven't been back,
wow.
So I'm long overdue to make a return trip out.
Like you said, it is good timing for you to be here because we had some Pete tweets regarding college basketball coaching searches not long ago. When you saw the tweet that said Darian DeVries is not a candidate at Iowa, where did your brain go next?
My brain went to the head coach of Drake University. That's what I thought right away. That's not a bad fallback plan for Iowa to have, but it kind of felt like DeVries to Iowa had kind of like been predestined, written in the stars for most of this season,
for a long time,
for a while. Especially, it felt like that had been, I don't want to use the term dream job, but in a similar vein, for him, that had been, the goal. And, it feels like, obviously we get the Goodman tweet about IU today. I don't know if Goodman's running PR for either IU or for the coaches he's tweeting about. It's one of the two, but we get that. And then the news that DeVries is not a candidate for Iowa, but thankfully for Iowa, I guess, if you want to, look at the glass half full, there are a bunch of dudes in coaching that are from Iowa, and I'm sure they would gladly at least, take the call from Beth Getz. But I think you start in Des Moines with Ben McCollum.
It's a good job, right? It's a Big Ten job. You can win there. Fran won there. I don't see what's unappealing about it. If you're D-Rock, though, you're probably thinking, okay, it's a pretty good job. But if Indiana is really chasing me down here, there's probably a little bit more money on the table.
Correct. Yes, it's a little bit of a different tax bracket, especially in the world of college basketball between Indiana and Iowa. But it appears that the three Big Ten openings, they're all trending toward making what I would call significant upgrades at the head coaching spot between Indiana, Iowa, and in Minnesota. There's going to be some guys coaching in this league, and it's going to add to already a pretty decent Rolodex of coaches. But Indiana, Iowa, and Minnesota all appear to be headed toward making significant upgrades.
We mentioned because Matt is a Northwestern basketball sicko, and he's heard the buzz that Collins could be in not in line for, but in the mix for the Villanova job. That's another job that could potentially open in the Big Ten, and another potential opportunity for somebody else.
Correct.
Or for them to go out and make a quality hire, and all of a sudden you fill the league up with really good coaches. Right?
Definitely, yeah.
So I wonder what that job might look like if that happens. I don't feel like he would be the frontline candidate at Villanova, but there's nobody else that really sticks out in front of me right now. But
yeah, that's going to be Pandora's box. It could be it could be that you could throw, might as well get the coach wheel out again, pull it out of the closet.
Oh, should we do a Villanova wheel, Josh?
Spin the Villanova wheel.
Josh, wake up. We got to do the Villanova wheel.
Wake up the wheel. But that's kind of the vibes that job's giving me right now. There's no like sure thing, but I think coming out of Kyle and Neptune, or Kyle Pluto, or whatever you wanted to call him over these last few years. Yeah, it's I think there's the only way to go is up for Villanova, which I think they need that. I
think so. Thoughts coming off of whether it's the weekend of conference basketball tournaments, and then as now we have this beautiful, well, I can't show this camera anymore because it's not on apparently, but this one up here, this beautiful paper bracket in our hands. I assume you're a paper bracket guy, right?
Absolutely.
All right,
just one bracket, just paper.
What do you have written on there right now?
Written on there.
What does it say in the middle?
I haven't looked at it too much.
Okay.
I am
no rush.
I take my time. I try. People assume that I like had it under my pillow on Sunday and like I was whispering sweet nothings to it. No,
it's kind of me. Like I didn't wait probably 15 minutes after the selection show was over to get this baby printed out. I mean, it was on the print tray right away.
People make jokes about True TV this week. People don't make enough jokes about printers. Like, everyone makes a lot of good use of the printer in the office this week with paper brackets for sure.
This might be the best week for printers.
Oh, no question.
Is it the best week for printers?
Yeah.
What is another time of year where everybody's using their printer? I don't use my printer very much, but I definitely use it this week.
America doesn't print their tax information the same time. Like you could get your taxes done in January. Jacob could get them done in April.
Right. It's not a one.
Week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. This may be the printer's finest hour. Yeah. Signing day used to be the fax machine.
Yeah, it's like the rewatchables. Like, is this week Apex Mountain for printers? Is this Apex Mountain for printers this week?
All right, poll questions up at Happer Show. Is this the best week for printers? Big Ten teams in the NCAA tournament. You have Michigan, who, man, as a 5 in that 5-12 game against UC San Diego is interesting. Michigan State, a trendy pick to end up in the Final Four in San Antonio. The Crab 5, is going to be a trendy pick, I think, out of their bracket this year as well. And you kind of continue to go on down the line after that. Wisconsin got a 3 seed.
Mm-hmm.
Purdue got a 4. Illinois with a 6. UCLA with a 7. So as you look at them and their matchups and how they ended up this year, what do you sort of look at with the Big Ten teams?
I feel like Michigan, that's going to be the most popular. I mean, I feel like that's going to be everyone's going to be picking against Michigan.
I think so too.
It's going to be I think the Big Ten.
And that's and by the way, I don't mind that. Like,
no, I don't either.
I could definitely see it.
Yeah, I definitely could too. And I think the Big Ten tournament champion hasn't made the second weekend in a certain amount of years. I forget what the exact stat is, but they had to put the we're just lucky allegations to bed, at least for the time, winning that tournament in Indianapolis. I'm sure the IU boosters in attendance were really happy to see Dusty May cutting down nets in Indianapolis on Sunday afternoon. But when I look at like teams that I think could make runs, I think I'm with you. I think Maryland's going to be a trendy pick. This Michigan State season is so weird because I think it may be Izzo's best coaching job in a long time. I think it's Izzo's best team in a long time, but that team still makes no sense. So like they're going to be a trendy like Final Four pick. But like when you think Michigan State and you think the stereotypical Big Ten teams, you think the big bruising like centers, and their centers and their bigs are like the weakest parts of their team. Like one of them wears double armbands, and the other one had like a faux hawk at one point this season.
Nice.
So they, I don't know what to think of them. I think Maryland would be my pick to like go deep. And then I kind of, I got my eyes on the Huss bus. Got my eyes on the fighting Allen Husses.
Okay, let's talk about that for a second.
In that matchup.
So that is going to be another one of the more trendy upset picks in the first round with Purdue and High Point 4-13. When the upset, when everybody pegs it and says this could be the one. Hey, watch out for High Point. Watch out for UC San Diego. Watch out for who's another team that people are sort of pegging on this list?
McNeese is on there again.
McNeese is a 12.
Yep.
Is there any like 14s, 15s that people Yale is always a pretty common one, I think.
Yeah.
But anyway, when people do that and there's sort of like this universal agreement of like, ooh, that's going to be a tough one. I tend to just think against that real quick. And I like Purdue. Like I think Purdue is really good. But no doubt that the Huss bus is going to give them a run for their money.
Definitely. Yeah. And I think an example of that is McNeese last year when everyone was on the Will Wade train, and then they just got steamrolled by, I think it was Gonzaga in the first weekend last year.
I remember thinking that they were the team going into the tournament like, oh man, they're going to end up in the Sweet 16, and then they got a really tough matchup in the first game.
And they got rolled. It's similar vibes to that. And
this year they don't.
No,
they have Clemson.
In
the first game.
Yes, absolutely. The Will Wade Bowl. Part of the content gold mine that is going to be in Providence these next couple days. You've got the Will Wade going against his alma mater. He like talked in his Selection Sunday presser. He's like, we don't practice on Saturdays in the fall because I still watch Clemson football and I still love Clemson football. We don't practice on Saturdays in the fall. He's going up against them. And then everything else in Providence, obviously Self, Cal, Patino, and then Crutch and the Mavs, and forget what the other game is in Providence, but that's going to be the content gold mine.
That's the Purdue High Point.
Oh, Purdue High Point, yeah. Painter and Huss. That is a Rolodex, a who's who for these next couple days.
What kind of shot do you give Omaha against St. John's?
St. John's. I the St. John's PR tour has to end at some point. It has to end. I don't think
I was inside of the machine on Saturday night.
Yes, you were.
Not fun.
No, but I think Omaha. They're going to have to hit shots. They're going to have to get going from the outside. It's going to be they're going to need Waddles and Osborne and the guys who can step out and hit a couple to hit more. Have a good night shooting, because that's with St. John's. It just becomes the math problem. Like they're going to get theirs inside, crash the glass, play in the paint. And if you can get going from three a little bit, you've got a chance. I think they people may raise an eyebrow in the second half, like under 12, maybe the under 8, but I think St. John's will still get through. But I like the fight in this Omaha group. Was in the building at Mammal Hall on Sunday, and that's just a good group of dudes. They're super laid back.
Yep.
JJ White got asked, when did you think this team had a chance? And he goes, when they put me in the starting lineup. Like he was just like, I like the vibes from that Mavs group. And I think they're gonna give it their all.
The thing that gives you hope, I guess, with them is that St. John's is limited in what they do on offense, just because of the way that they shoot the ball. Now, if they make some ungodly amount of their shots, like they did against Creighton on Saturday night, it's not going to be close, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But I think Creighton hit a buzzsaw on that night. And we'll see if they're able to repeat that sort of effort. And we'll see if it's not there in the first round, and if everybody's sort of locked into, Self, Cal, and then the winner gets Patino. Chucky versus Jason Green, round how many now? 5? 4?
This is at least, I'm trying to think. This is 3, I think.
It'll be 3 because
this is 3.
Because Chucky is a year older or 2 years older.
Yes, I believe. Because they had the two state championship games. There's a couple regular season meetings that I'm forgetting.
There was the I always mix all the Bellevue West Miller North games combined into one. They're all the COVID game where nobody was at.
Yes,
for some reason. Yep. But I mean, you could speak to this on the local angle. Chucky against Creighton is interesting. Chucky against anybody is interesting because he's such a good player. Chucky against Stephen Ashworth is really fun, I think, in my opinion. But it's a huge game to start the tournament.
It definitely is. We're gonna get things going with a bang on Thursday with that matchup, and it's gonna be two teams who, their reactions when that matchup got called on Sunday, you could tell they were both like, ooh, like they were just like, ooh, really? It's a tough matchup for the Jays, but I mean, it's basically their third straight true road game. playing Louisville at Rupp. Louisville at Rupp being a home game is funny, but Patino even alluded to it on Sunday. He was like, I think Louisville had that draw one year when he was there. He was like, there was 12,000 of our fans there, and it played a difference. It played a part. So it's gonna be a tough matchup. But it's gonna be. Credit is where credit's due to Pat Kelsey, who I came into this season calling.
They were a dumpster. Yeah, we spent most of our time making fun of them last year.
Yeah, and shameless plug for the show tomorrow morning. We'll talk to Mike Rutherford from Card Chronicle, who's a great follow on Twitter. He's Mr. Louisville everything, and just the difference and just his mood in around Louisville basketball. And he loves him some Chucky Happer, and so that'll be a fun conversation tomorrow. But to flip it from where it was last year and under the Kenny Payne regime to they go 18-2 in the ACC, and they had a bunch of injuries at the start of the year too, where people basically left them for dead, and here they are, firing on all cylinders, going into March. I know they dropped the AP All-Americans today. I think Pat Kelsey should be a shoo-in for National Coach of the Year.
So what day are the games in Seattle? Are they Friday, Sunday, or are they Thursday?
Friday, Sunday.
Friday, Sunday.
Yep.
You're staying through the weekend?
Yep.
Awesome.
Yep.
Fantastic. Enjoy that. I don't know what you're going to be doing on Thursday and Saturday at a bar somewhere in Seattle watching college basketball, I assume.
Yeah.
Because I was going to ask you what your sort of setup is, but you'll be in Seattle.
My one friend who's regularly in Seattle, he doesn't spend his off seasons in Seattle. So I'm going to be looking for ways to pass the time, but I'll do some exploring. Seattle's a good wander around town. I'm not going to put out the cliche social media post of here's the fish market.
Okay, good.
But it's not going to be something I do.
Are you sure? Like you might do that.
No, I'm trying to dial it back a little bit. I'm trying to tone it down a little bit. I've been accused of being Mr. Social Media these last couple weeks. And it's just that's not. There's more to me than that. So I'm trying to tone it down just a tad. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It should be a great time.
Enjoy your trip, my friend. Thanks for stopping by. I'm glad it worked out.
No, it did. Worked perfect.
And have fun in the show tomorrow. And I'll talk to you on the crossover.
We will. Yeah, I'll be back in here tomorrow. We'll talk tomorrow. Thanks you guys for letting me pop in.
That is Jacob Bigelow, everybody. Make sure to check his stuff out at Jacob A. Bigelow on Twitter. We'll be back to round at the hour after this on 1620 The Zone.
After further review, the host is deemed to be out of bounds.
The Connor Happer Show returns in minutes on 1620 The Zone.
The sun is out and our crews are on the rooftops right now. Hey, it's Garen with Shamrock Roofing and Construction. Time has almost run out to get your roof covered by insurance from last season's storms. Get on the schedule now and we'll work with your insurance company to help you get the repairs or replacements you need. One call does it all at Shamrock Roofing and Construction. Call 1-866-932-3545 or visit shamrockroofer.com today.
This is the Chef of Love, Chef Jannard, TV host and restaurateur. My grandparents harvested their land to sell food and share this overflowing bounty with our community. Grandma said, for every yam we pick, we give one away. In the world they cultivated, I love preparing and eating dinner with my family on Sundays. When our resources changed, food assistance programs sustained us. They gave me fuel to start my first culinary business at 16 years old, and inspiration to donate the extra food in my community. Through my life, I've developed an appetite to work with others to ensure everyone has access to the nutritious food we need to thrive. Together, we can help end hunger. Come on, join the movement with Feeding America by volunteering, donating, and advocating. Learn more at feedingamerica.org/act now.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Let's get back to the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
Here comes the clown.
Round number one of the Omaha Food Fight presented by Union Bank and Trust is underway, ladies and gentlemen. We have our restaurants that are into the field. Now you have to vote. And the voting winners move on to the round of 32, which begins Thursday. That'll go through the end of the weekend. So get your votes in for the round of 64. And there's some titanic matchups in the first round, by the way, in the round of 64. Please get your votes in 1620thezone.com right now in the Omaha Food Fight. It's very simple. Vote for your favorite restaurant. And it's, you know what they say around this time of year, Josh? It's all about matchups.
It really is. This tournament, too, is matchup dependent.
It is all about matchups. Vote now. 1620thezone.com for your favorite restaurant and see if they advance to the round of 32 on the Omaha Food Fight presented by Union Bank and Trust. Thanks to them for coming along with us this year. One quick, so we're talking about the NCAA tournament, as we'll continue to do over the next couple of days here, Josh.
Just the next day.
But we won't be talking about the NIT much.
We won't?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
I would imagine that this is the only time we talk about the NIT throughout the duration of the NIT.
Sad.
The NIT delivered us a statement yesterday. At around noon. It's from Dan Gavitt, the NCAA senior. Yes.
Okay.
The NCAA senior vice president of basketball chair and NIT board of managers. He said this. After the NIT bracket, and I had no context going into this. I just saw a statement, and it was one of the statements that is tweeted out via X, formerly Twitter, that is just the picture of the graphic and no words. And you're like, uh-oh, what is this? After the NIT bracket was released on Sunday evening, it was brought to the NIT's attention that one of the teams scheduled to participate in the tournament had also committed to a non-NCAA affiliated postseason event. In an effort to secure another participating team, the NIT prematurely extended an invitation to the South Alabama Jaguars prior to learning that the original team chose to accept its invitation to the NIT. Regrettably, the NIT then had to rescind its invitation to South Alabama, and we understand the emotional impact and the confusion this has created, and we sincerely apologize to South Alabama head coach Richie Riley and the student athletes for the error. So to recap, UC Riverside is the team in question here. They accepted an invitation to the CBI, the third-rate tournament that's not the NIT and that's not the Crown and it's not whatever. Remember they used to be the CIT, I think, too. Postseason, creating kayfabe postseason tournaments is not new, ladies and gentlemen. So UC Riverside had accepted an invitation to the CBI. Then, when Selection Sunday rolled around and the NIT bracket was revealed on Sunday night, to everyone's surprise, including UC Riverside, they were in it. UC Riverside appeared in the NIT bracket, having already accepted an invitation to the CBI and having no prior contact with the NIT before appearing in the bracket. Of course, upon finding out that they were in the NIT bracket, UC Riverside said, that sounds like a better idea. I'll go to the NIT instead of the CBI. Sure. I will accept this invitation.
Makes sense.
And somewhere some wires got crossed, and the NIT, then figuring out that UC Riverside was going to the CBI, decided to invite South Alabama to their tournament. And a key here is South Alabama was not committed to any postseason tournament. It was NIT or nothing for them. They get invited to the NIT. They accept the spot in the NIT. They have their offer rescinded to the NIT. Their season is now over. Thanks to a clerical error from the NIT. So don't tell me that we can't have clerical errors in selecting teams, ladies and gentlemen. Head coach Richie Riley of South Alabama says, a meaningless apology to the most meaningful group of players I've ever coached. What they did to us last night is inexcusable. These guys in our locker room don't deserve this, and it's sad your idea of making it right is a copy and paste apology.
I actually really like that statement from that coach.
Because he's triggered. I'd be triggered.
Yeah.
You fake invited us to the NIT? Are you serious, man? Are you seriously doing this?
Punish the school that was whoring themselves out to all the tournaments.
Oh man. I mean, I somebody was going to be left out. Mm-hmm. You know, somebody was going to get the raw end of the deal here. But it could have been the team who had another postseason tournament invite, like you said. But instead, it was the South Alabama Jaguars who were indeed not invited to any other tournament.
Quick conspiracy theory, if I may. I don't necessarily believe this, but I want to present it to the audience, see how it plays.
Fire away, Josh.
South Alabama was never going to get in the NIT tournament. And this is all a media stunt. Everybody's talking about the tournament. Everybody's talking about the crown. No one's talking about the NIT.
Nope. Don't do it. Nope.
No, you don't believe it?
Not with you.
Okay.
Not with you.
That's fine.
Because this is not going to make anybody watch the NIT. Nobody cares about the NIT.
Probably not.
What good does it do for the NIT if everyone's talking about it? Nobody's watching it still. And by the way, I don't think that many people are talking about this.
Huge plot hole. I tried.
I appreciate it. I appreciate the effort. Coming up next, the buffest UNO Mavericks fan on planet
Earth.
There's a
contest.
I mean, Crutch is a dude.
Yeah.
And I guess he's not a fan. He's a player.
He's on the staff.
Yeah, he's on the staff. The Outlanders, Truth Magnum.
Outrunners.
The Outrunners. That was bad by me. I apologize. The Outrunners with Truth Magnum will be here on the other side. What happened with those nachos?
Finally, some answers.
Find out next on 1620 The Zone. All right, welcome back. We're the Connor Happer Show here on 1620 The Zone and on 1620thezone.com. Connor Happer, Josh Odson with you, and we are pleased to be joined now in studio. But here's what I said before the break. The buffest Omaha Mavericks basketball fan.
Oh, I absolutely one of the biggest, certainly the youngest and most vascular. You got Truth Magnum of the Outrunners right here in the world-famous zone.
Welcome. Turbo, what happened to Turbo?
Turbo, he had a little bit of a medical condition flaring up again. He's got OCD, which is one cool dude.
Nice. Nice. He is. That's a problem. And when you're one cool dude, you can't make a bunch of radio appearances in one day. So AEW is coming to Omaha tomorrow. Let me get this out of the way for you. Liberty First Credit Union Arena.
Absolutely. Not only is it if you love wrestling, if you love just having fun, tomorrow night you get 2 television tapings, AEW Dynamite and Collision in one night. You can't beat that.
Okay, tell us about the first before we get to basketball. The origins. I need the Outrunners origin story.
The Outrunners origin story. It's a tale as old as time. Turbo Floyd was born in Miami Beach, North Swedish Hospital, and as you know, he was born with that condition, the OCD.
One cool dude.
And in the next room over, the doctor came in. He said, "You'll never believe it. I found the first case of 2 CD." In the other room was me, Truth Magnum. It was the very first case of 2 cool dudes. And ever since then,
it's amazing.
Ever since then, we've been riding the waves all the way here to Omaha, Nebraska.
What a stroke of luck that they found that.
You can't make this stuff up.
Incredible stuff. Okay, and so one of the things that people notice about Truth Magnum and Turbo Floyd is they have giant sunglasses. There's mullets. There's jackets that look like they're from the 80s.
Fanny packs.
You guys are dressed like you are literally from the 80s. Did you get in a time machine?
You know what? We don't like to.
Do you have access to a time machine?
I can neither confirm nor deny. I'm not going to talk about the past. The Outrunners are, in fact, so ahead of our time. We're already into next week.
You are. People, I mean, you were on the jacket craze before everybody else.
That's true. That's true.
Those jackets are back.
The only bad thing about these is it hides the guns, but there's plenty of time to take that off later.
All right, so we have a connection to you.
Oh,
you've acknowledged this show in a tweet before.
That's true.
And I won't reveal our sources because we're not in the business of doing that.
Good journalists don't.
But we have to ask you, when you went to the Omaha basketball game a few weeks ago, about
I know where this is going.
When you sat courtside and there was a little accident courtside. I was always told that the Outrunners don't make mistakes.
Well, let me give the people a little backstory. We were with the team all day. I was very hungry. I sat in line. I can't believe I had to sit in line.
Unbelievable.
My favorite cheat meal, which is a big plate of nachos. And I brought those nachos. I waited in line. I got them.
So are we talking about the nachos with like the cheese that comes out of the dispenser, or are we talking about like a big plate with all the stuff?
We're talking about the tray. You have the chips on one side and the dipping cheese in the other.
Got it.
The kind you get at the Omaha Mavericks.
Stadium nachos.
Yeah, stadium nachos. And my mouth was salivating all the way down to the chair. I was carrying sodas, carrying stuff for other people. I go to sit my nachos down, and how am I supposed to know? There's a lip where the basketball court ends and the arena floor begins. And it was a good 3, 4, 6, 8, 12, maybe 20 inches off the floor. It seemed like a canyon. And as soon as I put the nachos down, they spilt all over. There was cheese all over the floor. I was extremely disappointed. My day was almost ruined, but the Omaha Mavericks won that game.
You were able to keep it pretty under wraps. I mean, it stayed pretty tight, but we got eyes everywhere. Unfortunately.
I don't know how you did it. I wish to forget about that period of my life.
How did the relationship start between the Outrunners and the Omaha Mavericks?
Well, we had seen prior that the trash can tradition of them beating the crap out of these trash cans week after week. They're starting to incorporate wrestling moves, elbow drops, leg drops, knee drops, spears, tackles. And we got a little bit of a call on the Outrunners jet ski phone. They asked if we could come up and give our little piece to it.
Uh-huh.
And I was so glad. I was on the edge of my seat. It was a pretty close game. And we pumped them up before the game. I think that has a lot to do with all of their success. Certainly that night. And we got in there and we got to beat the crap out of those trash cans too. And it was one of the greatest days of my life.
Did you give them a hype speech today? What, as they were being sent off?
I did. I spoke with the coach for a little bit. We're talking basketball strategy, and I relayed that to the team. I let them know the only way that you guys are going to lose is if you don't win. And I think that's just basic basketball 101. And I think that sunk in with them, and I feel really good about their chances.
Sometimes you got to keep it simple.
That's right.
When things get hard, you got to keep it simple.
That's right.
Josh, you got anything?
Well, what the question on my mind and a lot of people listening is, hey, you just wrestled the Hurt Syndicate.
It's true.
On pay-per-view, Los Angeles, huge match. Didn't go your way, but now you're in Omaha tomorrow night. You got the decided home court advantage.
That's true.
Could we maybe see you guys mix it up again?
Well, we are the new adopted sons of Omaha, the kings of Omaha. Some people have called us already.
I'd say that.
We are going to be in action. I don't know what we're going to do, but we will be there. If we get another shot at the Hurt Syndicate, they're going to be talking about the Girth Syndicate afterwards. Trust me.
I love it.
I'm told that you release a Spotify playlist every week.
I do every Monday.
Is this true?
Music Mondays. It's some of my favorite songs. I'm a big music guy. It's all just Outrunners vibes. Check it out. It's on my social medias at Truth Magnum.
Okay. And what kind of music is on there?
All sorts of stuff. If you like synthwave, you like some just everything. I have a very eclectic music taste when I'm flying around on my jet ski.
Yacht rock?
Oh, yacht rock. I'm a huge yacht rock enthusiast.
So
Michael McDonald.
That was definitely the first guy.
Michael McDonald.
Do you sing with Michael McDonald? Do you sing like Michael McDonald?
We
have a guy in this office who looks like Michael McDonald.
I'd love to meet him.
Yeah. His name's John.
Truth Magnum can do a lot of things. The one thing I can't do is sing. So
okay. Well, we have an idea of a thing that you could do.
Okay.
We'll have to take this out of this seat, but we're still going to be on the air.
Okay.
Technology has allowed us to do this.
Wow.
If you'd follow me out into the hallway,
okay,
we have a little special surprise for you. Josh, you take the wheel.
All right.
You put my camera on the screen if you want to.
Okay, we will.
Right.
We'll let you get out there first. Special surprise. We are leaving the Zone studio. Truth Magnum in all his glory, walking out with Connor Happer.
Put me on the screen.
Okay, he's on the screen. We got the trash can. He is destroying the trash can. Oh, and he got to meet Michael McDonald. What a bonus. Oh, that poor trash can. Oh, R.I.P. Truth Magnum. The Outrunners. Liberty First Credit Union Arena tomorrow night. 2 television tapings. Dynamite and Collision. You can get them both for the price of 1 ticket tomorrow night. AEW in town. The biggest Omaha Mavericks fans. We thank the Outrunners for a little bit of their time today. We will be back and recap everything that just happened on 1620 The Zone. right, let's debrief.
Josh.
Connor.
So this was your idea.
What was my idea?
Why
am I the only one on television?
I don't know. Is there no studio cam anymore?
Well, we can put that back in there.
All right.
There we go.
There you go. That's good because my camera clearly doesn't work.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Today.
I forgot.
So Josh's idea was like, we got to get these guys in here. We got a show tomorrow. We got to get these. It's perfect timing. The Mavs are leaving for the NCAA tournament. And Josh texted me on Sunday when I was taking copious amounts of naps.
That's right.
And he said, I got something for them boys. We thought it was going to be both Truth Magnum and Turbo Floyd, but of course Turbo Floyd has OCD.
One cool
dude disorder, so he could not make it.
We wish him the best in his recovery.
We of course do, and I'm sure he'll probably still have OCD tomorrow night, but he'll fight through it.
Mm-hmm.
Would be my guess.
That's what champions do.
And Josh sent me a picture of a trash can. He says, I got something for these boys. And I'm like, let's do it. And then I thought we could use my camera and just take them out in the hallway and have a surprise for them. And he did exactly what I wanted him to do, which is just really, truly destroy that trash can. He went after it. He loved it. And we all loved it here at 1620 The Zone. So, Josh, a great idea by you and well executed. And for many who are watching along on zonetv.live or at 1620 The Zone's YouTube, you got to see many cameos from many of the faces and people you have come to know at NRG Media over the years that we talk about, including, amazingly, John Nielsen, a.k.a. Michael McDonald, who we were just talking about. Prudon and his dogs showed up. I think Stibbs was there.
I heard rumors of a Stibbs sighting.
Nick was there. Peterman was over there. Everyone was there watching. And we full disclosure, we did have to send an email out earlier in the day,
which basically turned into, I guess, an invitation.
Yep.
To, hey, come look at this wrestler.
Yep.
Which is fine. I just wanted everybody to know, hey, we're going to be banging on this trash can, and it could get pretty loud if you're on a phone call or have a guest.
Yep.
In the building.
Yep.
Just be aware.
Yep. And he destroyed that thing.
He did. I was
absolutely crushed it.
I was a little worried because, I don't like with Frank Caliendo, I don't like to treat people like they're jukeboxes. But
I mean,
it's tournament week. The Dynamite and Collision tapings tomorrow at Liberty First Credit Union Arena with All Elite Wrestling. It just seemed a little too perfect to not do.
I love their bit. I love their 80s bit.
Yes.
It's awesome.
Now, if we could pull the curtain back even more,
please.
I did not know he was going to answer the questions in the way he answered them, but I think it was better that way.
Like in character.
Yeah.
Look, you can't turn Turbo Floyd off.
No,
you can't turn that off. That's Turbo Floyd, man.
Truth Magnum lives it 24/7.
Yeah,
that's his truth.
Exactly. Fantastic. And the Outrunners are at Liberty First Credit Union Arena tomorrow for a live edition of Dynamite, and then a taping of Collision, which will air Saturday after the Hoops games on the TNT.
Yeah.
Look at that.
That's a prime. I mean, it's a late night spot, but it's a prime spot.
Omaha.
Right after that wrestling, you're still trying to come down from the excitement of basketball.
What was his advice to the team, to the Mavs?
The only way not to lose is to win.
Is he wrong?
Seems like that's the exact thing you need to hear.
I would agree. I would happen to agree.
On the way to Providence.
We got basketball tonight, Josh.
We do technically have basketball tonight, yes.
What's your excitement level for the first four? 1 to 10.
For the first game, it is 0. For the second game, I am intrigued. North Carolina has already started the excuse making with travel problems, and they got to Dayton late.
Well, I mean, they really did have travel problems, okay? That happened.
You could have travel problems and not bitch about it in public.
This has now become a pretty commonplace thing in the NCAA tournament. Remember a couple of years ago when, what was it, UConn? I think it was UConn. Weren't they in Vegas and they had rats all over the place or something? They got all their stuff stolen.
Yeah.
They got all their stuff stolen. This actually happens every year now. Maybe it's an NCAA thing at this point.
You think they're bad at logistics?
I've heard of at least 2 planes that were not able to take off on time. Some of that you can't help. I mean, there's some weather across the country right now, as we're about to experience apparently in the next 24 hours. So I don't know. Some of that you can't help. Sometimes your plane runs out of gas. You don't have enough gas. Got to get to Chapel Hill to Dayton. We need more gas.
Sometimes your plane doesn't have enough gas.
Sometimes your plane runs out of gas. Glad that didn't happen to me this weekend. I would have been extremely sad.
Yeah.
I will do with these games what I do every single year, which is for the first 4 game, I will realize, well, if I was in a normal environment tonight, I'll be at a baseball game, calling a baseball game, so I won't really be paying attention to this at all. But if I was sitting at my house, I would do what I would every year do, which is at 5:40 p.m., the game would start, and then at about 6:20-ish, I would realize that the game was nearing halftime.
Oh, people are tweeting about this game.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then I would wait another 15 minutes until halftime was over, and then I would start watching in the second half, completely contingent upon whether the game is good or not. If the game is good, I'll probably watch the second half. If the game is a blowout and it does not appear if it's going anywhere, I will skip it entirely, and I will wait until 8 o'clock to watch the 11 seed on 11 seed game, which I usually watch in full.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Well, I guess in recent years, that 11 seed has rattled off another victory after that. So.
I mean, these are relatively good teams, and it's a competitive environment. It's an NCAA tournament game. It is the only college basketball game of the night. I love college basketball.
You are a sicko.
And Texas Xavier tomorrow night, I think, is going to be really good too. So that's what I'm going to do. From a betting angle, we talked about this with our dear friend Allan Bell earlier. It just feels like and I could go back and look, or I could pull up my little my info chart that I was touting earlier. Matt Eisenberg dropping that in on us. It just feels like these games always end up in the 50s. The 16-16 games.
Yeah.
It feels like they always end up in the 50s. So I'll take the under. That feels like a lock to me.
You like the undies tonight?
Yep. And Josh?
Connor?
I like the heels.
I mean,
they of not really being
good at basketball,
not good enough to be in the NCAA tournament, but good enough to win a game in the NCAA tournament. I know it's very confusing. It's difficult to understand, but I do believe that is the case. San Diego State in the NCAA tournament has been really, really, really good.
Yeah, really
recently.
good.
Creighton is very familiar with playing San Diego State. Apparently, they play San Diego State just every year now. They'll probably play them again in the Vegas thing next year. Again. But I tend to lean toward North Carolina tonight, and I tend to lean to them covering the 4.5. It's a vibe thing for me, only because every year we do this with the team who doesn't look good enough to be in the NCAA tournament, but makes the NCAA tournament. And then you have the whole blue blood and all that stuff on top of this in this conversation, and people just try to discredit them in every other way. And don't, make no mistake, I still don't think they should be there. But I think they're going to win the game tonight.
You do like a tournament zag.
I love a tournament zag.
But not the zags, plural. Although they are, like Louisville, an underseeded 8-9 team.
Yeah, they have they don't have quite the case for being underseeded as Louisville does, I think. And then they're playing probably the weakest 9 seed in the field, which is Oklahoma. And then they get Florida in the next round. Yeah, think about that. What Creighton go 15-5 in the Big East this year?
That's right.
Oklahoma went 4-12 in the SEC, both on the 9 line.
Same seed.
Creighton, a 9 seed, second place in the Big East, second place in the Big East tournament. UConn, not second place in the Big East or second place in the Big East tournament, an 8 seed. Marquette also, once again, does not meet those qualifications. They are a 7, aren't they?
They're higher than Creighton. I know that.
Yeah, I think they're a 7. Yeah, they're a 7. They get New Mexico in the first game. It's kind of interesting, just the way that whole thing works out. But I don't know. Truth Magnum's tweeting at us, by the way.
He is. Look at this.
Yeah, he's balling. He is balling. Josh,
Connor.
Speaking of Creighton, last night, saw it. They didn't play last night, but I did happen to see this from Fox Sports PR last night.
Oh, here's the PR spin.
PR spin of the day comes from Fox. Friday at the Big East men's basketball tournament delivered. Friday's semifinals averaged 1.39 million viewers, making it the most watched semifinals day in Fox Sports history. Creighton's victory over UConn scored 1.482 million viewers. That's 1,482,000 viewers. The most watched men's Big East semifinal game in Fox Sports history.
Interesting.
The earlier game, the St. John's Marquette game, 3.14 million viewers. The second most watched men's Big East semifinal game in Fox Sports history. That's right. The one and the first and the second most watched semifinal games in Big East history both happened in the same year in one evening on a Friday night in Madison Square Garden. I have some theories here. And your takeaway. And by the way, the Creighton UConn games, they always draw. They usually happen on the weekend, and they always draw pretty well, which is why another reason why when they put the game on CBS Sports Network this year, I was mildly confused. The game in Omaha was on CBS Sports Network. But that was probably the big ticket item for CBS Sports this year. How can we get one game that pops? It's like, remember back in the day when BTN made it a priority to put Iowa and Nebraska on Black Friday on BTN?
Right. That's right.
They were like, we got to really.
That's the one thing we're going to protect.
We have to absolutely drill this. But people love watching UConn lose.
It's their coach, man. People don't like that guy.
I think so.
Okay.
UConn, already before Hurley, they're a national brand. Their fan base is really full of themselves. They think they're God's gift to earth. They say all these things about how many championships they've won. They constantly talk about how they want to move conferences and be in a real like whatever it is, But the fact of the matter is, they belong in the Big East, and the Big East is glad they're there. And I think really deep down inside, they're happy that they're in the Big East. So people really enjoy watching UConn lose. Obviously, I am very much included in that conversation. But people like watching UConn play. And I also think that Creighton and UConn is a real life rivalry. Like that
Absolutely
that is a real thing. Seems weird to be saying it. Once again, I always talk about this with Creighton basketball, but I oftentimes think about how excited I was to get a bracket buster game with Long Beach State that started at midnight in Omaha, and it would air on ESPNU.
This is as good as it gets.
Yeah,
right
I was like,
here.
this is it, man. Antoine Young's hitting a game winner. Like, there's no way. This is the peak. Hopefully they can win the Missouri Valley tournament and get into the NCAA tournament. They are legit rivals with a blue blood of college basketball. And they just so happen to own that rivalry.
Yes.
They're 9-3 against them. 9-3 against them.
Pretty good.
They've only lost once in Omaha. They've never lost to UConn in Madison Square Garden in the Big East tournament.
That's where Kemba Walker played.
That is true. That is true. If you were watching along with my tour, you probably saw some Kemba Walker. There was a lot. We were getting on the elevator one night, and one of the many thousands of people who were working on the elevator said, this is the 12-year anniversary of the 6 overtime game. And I was like, wow, that's kind of cool. That's crazy.
I'm going to use that later.
And here I am using it today on this show.
That's why you go out there for prep like that.
If I could just bring back little nuggets like that, that'll do. 1.4 million people, and every time Creighton and UConn play each other, it does seem to draw. I'll be curious to unpack it at the end of the year for the regular season, whether it be Fox or NBC or CBS, and just ESPN included, obviously. Just some of the most watched college basketball games of the season, the regular season, obviously conference tournament time, and then postseason tournament time. I would imagine out of conference tournaments, that is going to be one of the higher games, except for the Big Ten final, which has the great pleasure of airing right before Selection Sunday, and it's just the last college basketball game and all that stuff. Like, timing is important here, but Friday night at the Big East semifinal and then Saturday night at the Big East tournament final, it's appointment watching, and you could set your calendar to it. The times are the same every year. The teams are the same every year. The setting is the same every year. Like, and it's like, even the sounds, right? Having Anna Negron sing the national anthem and Hypnotize play for the home team during their starting lineups. Like, it's a beautiful thing.
It's familiar.
It's great. And there's a reason why stuff like that rates. In my opinion, college football should take a page from this book.
Oh, hello. They should play at Madison Square Garden.
College football should play at Madison Square Garden. College football should understand the importance of repetition. They currently do not.
They do not.
They currently understand the importance of making the most money for themselves. And there's a lot of ways to patch that hole in a short period of time. No doubt about it. Hey, let's create these weird, goofy matchups, and let's play 10 conference games, and let's play, let's not play non-conference games so we can get an extra home game. Like, whatever it is. But the conferences sort of sell off their souls to the TV networks to do this. Just one thing that is tough to replicate without the time is the familiarity to the opponents, the tradition, and how you could, set your watch to certain things. Nebraska playing Iowa on Black Friday for the last almost 15 years now. Best thing that Nebraska has going for it as a member of the Big Ten Conference. It just is. It just is.
You got your thing that's your own.
Mm-hmm. And guess what? People will start to flock to it because they see how much it matters to the people inside of the rivalry, and they're like, dang, I want to feel something. I like that. And when you have all these weird matchups, it doesn't necessarily hit the same. So yes, I think it's cool what the Big East has got going for it. And it was great to experience it, obviously, for the first time over the weekend. Josh, did you happen to watch the John Gruden Mav unboxing video?
How many times did I watch it? Yeah.
I watched it one full time through. It was great.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what makes John Gruden so interesting, but he's pretty much a perfect Barstool guy. He kind of rocks,
right? Like,
I guess that's it.
The enthusiasm is infectious.
Yep, he's fantastic.
He's just a man who has money to buy clothes, who had clothes shipped to him and opening it, but he's so enthusiastic about opening that box.
He started naming UNO basketball players. I don't know what he must pop open Ken Palm before he does the video. Markel Sutton, and start talking about guys like that. They got Tony Osborne, dog. I can't do a very good Gruden, and I prefer not to.
It's okay.
But I thought it was a great video yesterday. The Mavs are on the map. That's for sure.
I mean, don't get me wrong, Omaha's getting a ton of press for this tournament run. Sports Center multiple times. The AEW promotional arm is like behind them, but still, to Omaha, it is being acknowledged. You're a small school, and you're getting this pub that you would not normally get. I know Iowa Western sent him a box a couple weeks ago, and he opened it, and it was like, oh my gosh, thank you for doing that.
Hunter Deckers.
Like, so many people it creates an awareness, and that's all you want when he opens that box.
Make the most out of the time that you have when you have it.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. And yes, of course, you hope that the basketball is great for years and years and years to come. Maybe it will be. Maybe it won't. Maybe this is it.
Yeah.
Maybe this is the only time you could put Omaha on the map. So make the most out of it. I love how Omaha's handled all this stuff. They've welcomed everybody in. They've been weird. They're not trying to be too big timey about it. And It's cool. It's a team that you like to root for.
Definitely.
We'll be back. We get the poll questions, and we'll tell you what to watch coming up on 1620 The Zone.
The Connor Happer Show.
Who's pitching tonight?
You Darvish, having a great year.
The Connor Happer Show.
I know about that guy.
On 1620 The Zone.
What a mess.
All right, Josh.
All right, Connor.
Let's head to the polls.
Let's.
Did we have any today?
Yeah.
Right,
we had one from the crossover yesterday as well.
Oh, really? Let's find out. Do you like bottle episodes? No, I prefer the storyline to advance.
Yeah.
I
mean, you got to
I'm
write.
an American, like I just want to be entertained at all times, right? I don't have time to sort of stick around. If it gets too slow on me, I'm probably not going to quit, but I'm not going to enjoy it. I do not like bottle episodes.
It's a cost-cutting measure for television. You really have to know how to write good dialogue.
I understand if you from a creative standpoint, okay, you're trying to tell a story, probably a backstory of something of why a character feels the way that the character feels. But generally, you could tell that story in about 5 minutes. 85% say no. Josh,
that sounds about right.
Do you want your team's local announcer to quote go national? Well, I'm always rooting for Ryan Lefebvre and Denny Matthews and Jake Eisenberg.
Yeah. I would love for John Bishop to go, you know what? I'm too big for this place. I'm out of here.
Would it surprise you if young Jake was doing some big games in his future?
That he's got hot shot, fast track written all over him.
So I don't know if I want it, but I don't know if I don't want it. So I'll just go against Matt.
It's about time we have Jake on.
He liked my picture from Cats. He was like, you did it right.
He's a Queens guy, right?
That's
where he lived, or
no? I don't think he lived in Queens.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I guess I don't know where exactly.
I remember he called us from his childhood bedroom.
But
time.
he is a New Yorker, and he's specifically a Jewish New Yorker, and so yeah,
I didn't know that.
There you go. He was like, so I got the kudos from him from the Jewish deli. You bet. That felt good.
I bet, yeah.
65% say no. They don't want their team's local announcer to go national.
Wow, rooting against success.
Have you puked at Allen Fieldhouse? Yes.
No, I haven't.
88% say no.
Shocking.
Is this the best week for printers?
Yeah, I don't know how we got there, but yeah, absolutely.
Printing the brackets out?
Sure.
76% say yes. And those are the polls. Josh, what are we watching tonight?
Well, we're watching the first four. It includes a team that lost more games than it won in St. Francis against Alabama State. 5:40 tip on True TV. Coverage begins right here on 1620 The Zone at 5:30.
Whoa, they get off early?
That's right. It is followed on True TV by North Carolina.
Does Stibbs still get the full rate for that?
Yeah, you know what? Sure. Tell him I said it was okay. I'm not willing to like figure out the math of 30 minutes.
No, we wouldn't want that.
No. North Carolina, San Diego State after that. There's some NIT games tonight, but I don't know what they are, and you don't really care, so why bother? NBA doubleheader on NBA TV. Celtics host the Nets at 6:30. 9 o'clock tip out west for the Warriors hosting the Bucks. Hockey on ESPN at 8 o'clock. The Utah Hockey Club is in Canada to take on the Oilers. At 5 a.m. tomorrow, you can watch the second game of the Tokyo series between the Dodgers and the Cubs.
Weebs.
Will the Cubs get more than 3 hits? Who's to say?
I'd take the over.
Yeah, probably. And finally, at 9 on ABC tonight, a bit of a sad story, but it is intriguing. Last Days of Gene Hackman, an ABC News special.
Oh.
The 1 hour look takes a deep dive into the last days of the beloved actor and his wife after they were sadly found dead in their New Mexico home.
Oh. New Mexico? That's where that was?
That is where they were at.
Wow. Yeah, I was reading some stuff on that this morning. Kind of grisly.
Yeah, not great. Just,
but people, like, if you could combine celebrity with death,
true crime.
Yeah.
Even though a crime did not take place.
And like mystery, right? There's an air of mystery.
Yeah.
What happened here? Raw meat, red meat for the American television watching public, especially those who watch cable news.
And Hoosiers sucked, by the way.
Whoa. Hoosiers sucked?
Yeah.
I don't know that I would say that, Josh. I cannot subscribe to that.
Corny as hell.
Corny, absolutely. Did it suck? No. It's an enjoyable flick. It's a feel good.
Yeah. I'll take my feel good elsewhere from other Gene Hackman movies.
Like The Replacements.
Yes, The Replacements. I watched Crimson Tide this week.
Okay. All right. Josh, thanks.
Thank you, Connor.
Snuck a take in there under the wire. That is it for us today. That is the show. If you missed anything, 1620thezone.com is where you can find it. The crossover's coming up next.